All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a place. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
Good morning and welcome to the All Sports All Plays College Breakdown. I am Crews. Dre will be coming here momentarily. My co-host from the All Sports All Plays College Breakdown. We on the All Sports All Plays Network, all our Facebook and stuff like that. Let's go ahead and get some of the business out of the thing. If you want to support any shows on the All Sports All Plays Network, you can send some stars to your Facebook only. It's our money content. You can support our shows, great contents on All Sports, All Plays Network. We're trying to make it bigger. You can help if you want to send us some stars there. And then also, let me go ahead and welcome everybody here. Welcome to the All Sports, All Plays College Breakdown Show. I am Ray Crews. Dre will be joining me here momentarily. I will be bringing him on the show like I always do with special comments, special things about him. So let's get this thing rolling here. From Who's to Blame podcast, the man, the only Gator person that comes on this show and wears his Gator stuff proudly from the great state of St. Louis, Missouri. I know I said the city, but the state of Missouri, Mr. Dre Montez. What's up, my buddy?
Yay. We love Dre. Go Gators. What's up, my man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. What's up with you?
Oh, man, I'm doing better than good. I cannot complain.
Yeah, I know we haven't been on in 3 weeks, but
yeah, it's been how are you doing? You had the weather issues down there. How are you?
Well, I'm good, man. Family's good. We're kicking. You know, my wife spent a couple of days down in the shelter because her school's a shelter, so she had to work.
Okay.
So other than that, we're good here in Jacksonville. Not too much wind. No damage around the house. Power stayed on all night. So,
you know, some of those videos, I didn't know what to believe. What was fake? What was real? But man, glad you all right, brother. Glad you all right.
Yeah, you see what the Tampa Devil Rays play at, right? You see that roof destroyed.
Man. Yeah, that was it was intense. It really was very intense.
Yeah, I'd like to go ahead and say we're still praying for the people in the Western Carolina area from Helena. We're praying for all the people in Tampa, for Milton. We want to make sure everybody's safe, and that's our first priority on the show. So we want to make sure that we send out our prayers out to all the victims from the 2 hurricanes in the past 2 weeks. And they said there's another one coming next week.
I'm going to know here in less than an hour because I got one of the TVs on the news.
Yeah. So, yeah, hurricane season from June to November. Usually September, the end of September, beginning of October is the bad part of the high hurricane season. So that's where we are. We're in the mix right now. So a lot of things happened over the last weekend, last Saturday. We really didn't talk about it. But are you surprised at that Alabama and Vandy game?
Yes. I'm very surprised about it, but hearing more and more about the quarterback from Vandy, I think he's Samoan, I believe.
Yeah, he came from New Mexico State.
Yeah. His work ethic and hearing his background, I'm not shocked after the fact, but I didn't know that prior to the game. I've been shocked by Bama's offensive output all year anyway. But yeah, that totally shocked me.
Yeah.
Especially the celebration.
Oh, yeah. Did you see the one somebody posted a reel? They put that statement on there where Saban said that Vandy is the easiest place to play in.
Yeah, he said that in game day. He said in the game day segment. Yeah, so I blame him. He jinxed. It was still a hell of a game. Still a hell of a game.
Yeah, that was it was a lot of upsets during the course that we haven't been here. We have I got the fourth week pick 'em that we did. You won that one 44 to you won 44 to 20 to my 43 and 21. So you gain a game there. The total right now is 290 to 92 to 278 104 for you. And I was 3-0 in week 5, but we really didn't get nothing going. So we'll be starting back that up today on week 7. We have a total of 42 games to pick, and plus the week 8. They have a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and a Friday. So we'll be picking those too as we go through today. So, what's been going on with you? How was your wedding last week?
I went to a wedding.
Man, you said you were getting married, dude.
I tell you what, man, the way these kids, and they've been together 14 years. So they older, they knew what they wanted. It was an adult winter wonderland, a display of love and affection in the most beautiful way you can imagine. It was amazing. It really was.
Yeah. That's cool though. You know,
really
get everybody.
You've ever been to one of those weddings of young people? They kind of overdo it. He's drunk before the damn first dance. She's crying, mascara's running. You know, they're still reminiscing of what some Tiffany did in high school, 8th grade. See, I can't go to weddings like that. Grown folks' wedding, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I mean, like the young kids, they be dancing down the aisle.
They do those routine dances.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a lot of things going on here. So what games are you looking for today?
I don't think there's a bad game on the schedule today. This weekend, including last night, that ASU game, that number 4 running back that looks like Mike Alstott's third cousin on his dad's side. Psst.
Yeah.
Look, there is not a bad game on the schedule today. If you waiting on your team to play, if your team play early, you still got to stick around for the rest of the day. If you're gambling today is that moneymaker. There's not a bad decision. I don't think it's going to be as upsetting as it was a couple of weeks ago. But there's some very intriguing matchups I'm looking forward to seeing. There's not a game I'm like, I could take a nap on this one. No, I'm locked in on all of them. All of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of changes going on in the top 25. Alabama was number 1 last week. Now they got knocked down to number 7 after losing to Vandy. But Clemson's made their way back up into the top 10. Do you think Clemson is a top 10 college football team this year?
Clemson lost early. That helped them. Now they're finding out their identity. Now Dabo is reattacking the process, and everybody's getting that believability in them. But I believe Clemson plays the U today, right?
No, Clemson plays Wake Forest at Wake.
At Wake. So this is another game where they can really ease his pain a little. This should be a very winnable game for Clemson. Do I believe they're a top 10 team after the first 2 weeks of the season? No. But since then, I can see the improvement. I can see what's happening. So I'm liking where Clemson is at right now.
Yeah, and then the surprise of Missouri losing last week at number 21. How is the state of Missouri taking that loss right now?
So when Mizzou lose, you have those fans that say, I knew it was going to happen. Their defense hasn't been the same. The offense is a little inconsistent. I don't know what's going on with Cook when it comes to throwing in the triple coverage. How don't you see that? You wear different color jerseys for a reason. And then you have the fans that are like, I thought this team finally had it. The defense showed promise at the beginning of the year, but we knew there was a whoopsie in the game against Vandy. We saw something there with the defense and the offense. There was a struggle there. I'm not shocked. I was shocked Mizzou was that high the first week of the season. And when they had the identity crisis against Vandy, I understood it. And then when I saw the defense I knew it was going to come, but I didn't think it was going to happen last week.
Yeah. So, I mean, that Arizona-Utah game last night you said it was awesome and stuff like that. Are you surprised that Arizona State has now turned their season around a little bit here this year than from last year, and Whittingham putting his stuff in there, putting his stamp? Are you thinking Whittingham is now starting to figure out how ASU can win?
That's the one advantage point I love about NIL. You can get the players you want and need to pull off the type of offense or defense you're trying to run and put a complete program together. And that is what has helped a lot of these programs that are in unfamiliar territory, having one loss or undefeated. And ASU is one of those teams. Watching that game last night, they got some NFL people looking at that team. Special teams, maybe some second and third rounders on that team, but that's a good football team. When you have coachable players, you can build on that. There was no stubbornness. Everybody had that look. We all in here, coach. We're all in here. Let's do this as a team. When you get a team like that, it's hard not to pay attention, and that's where they're at.
Yeah, I look at that too, and that's another thing too. And then, are you surprised that Army and Navy are undefeated, and now Navy has a chance to win the Captain's Cup? You know, the Commanders and Trophy here coming up. But look, and another interesting thing too about the Army Navy that nobody has really realized, they're both in the same conference. They're both on the opposite side. They can meet a week before the Army Navy game if they stand on the course right now in that conference.
Ever since Navy got a new offensive coordinator, new play calling system, they're just doing just option, triple option, RPA. No, they're actually putting together an actual football that makes sense type drive. They're actually doing it. You can see the up tempo. You can see everybody's buying into this on the whole Navy squad, offensively, defensively, special teams, even the coaches. That does not look like a military football team. They don't act like it. In years past, you could tell. But now they actually look like they fitting in with the rest of the folks.
Yeah, that's another thing too. But that interesting thing about them joining the same conference this year, that now we might be seeing Army Navy playing each other in the championship game of the American Conference, and then the following week they played the Army Navy game.
It happens in the SEC all the time. They're playing the championship, then a month and a half later they're playing the national championship. Give me something different, Daddy.
So that's going to be interesting to see how that turns out. So we're going to keep our eye on that, because right now Army still has to pay Air Force if they can win that. If the Air Force beats Army, then the Commanders and Trophy will automatically go to Navy, because Army will not be able to win it because they didn't beat Air Force. So that's going to be the key there. But Navy still has to win the Army-Navy game to actually get it. So we'll keep our eye on the Service Academy. We're big Navy guys here. I did 20 years in the Navy. So
bless you. All right. Thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you for your service.
We're proud Navy men.
So we're going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. When we come back, we'll start the college breakdown pick'em, and we'll keep it rolling here as we go along on the All Sports All Plays Network, on the All Sports All Plays College Breakdown. I'm Ray, that's Dre. We'll be right back.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we're making a place. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so type the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. 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 365, we're making a place. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so type the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
Welcome back to the All Sports All Place Network. I'm Ray Cruz. This is Dre. We are on All Sports All Place College Breakdown. We are now starting our College Breakdown Pick'em section here. We got a lot of games to break down today. We got over 42 games, but we're only going to break down the top 17 games that I have gone through. So we're going to start off today's contest with the bounce back game of South Carolina at Alabama, number 7 Alabama. Time is at noon. And we'll bring that up as you can see everything, all the information there. So, what does Alabama have to do differently not to get upset by South Carolina today?
Not think about what happened in that Vandy game. Not think about their second half against Georgia. They got to go back to playing Bama-type football, punish everyone. The moment they start reflecting on what they didn't do in the Vandy game, and how they had the opportunity to put Uga away very, very, very early in the game. That's back-to-back games. They didn't finish the job, to me. So now they must finish the job. That should have been the message the whole off week leading up till today. That should have been the message, the whole thing, from the coaches to the players. We're not going to let our foot off the gas, no matter what. Keep it going. That's the message it should be. It's too late now to look in the rearview mirror. Let it go. Let's keep moving forward. Eyes front. Military terminology. Eyes front.
Yeah. But it's a little different about this Alabama team now with the new kid coach, a new philosophy and offense, really. The running back has not been really featured. I mean, they got Miller, who's carried the ball 39 times for 318 yards and 5 touchdowns. Usually by this time of year, they have a running back that's almost nearing the 1,000-yard rushing mark. But does Alabama need to get back to that running game, that philosophy, or – we're going to see them continue on? But, according to Feinbaum, last week's loss was the worst loss in college football history.
In that standard, considering what Vandy's program is at and considering what Bama's program is at. But here's the thing that fans and media people fall in love with. Saban's not there. You mean to tell me you brought in a guy to do the exact same thing that Saban done? That makes no sense to me. He's his own identity, what he was doing at Oregon. I mean, what he had? No, he's at Washington. What he did at Washington, that type of coaching style can work in the SEC. The type of players that he likes, that could work with Bama's type players. They have the speed. They have the football IQ. What happened in the past 2 weeks, the way they have played, not well, it's due to the fact they think they're supposed to win games based on their name, based on who they are. It's not that type of football no more. With the way the new college football format is and the way NIL deals are, these guys know each other. They're trying to build something together. They're trying to get their own legacy going. So Bama got to come with it each and every time. And it's not fair to want to see that exact same offense with Bama. Then why even hire a coach? Just get an AI version of Nick Saban and just listen to the AI.
Now, I got something. Tony makes a good point here. Tony Hall is one of our shows here on the ASAP Sports Network. They're going to have to realize they can't solely rely on Milroe. He still passed effectively, but they shut his scramble and rushing for over 100 yards down. That's a key point too, because Milrose was basically the offense when it was breaking down, and the pass rush that Vandy did. You see teams now modeling what Vandy did, had to keep him in the pocket, make him be a passer, not a runner.
I think they can have a balanced attack. They got to take what's available to them. They're trying to predetermine everything, and it doesn't work like that. 90% of the game is called at the pre-snap. You can tell what's going to happen right there. You can dictate everything right there. And if they stay on that point right there, there's a better opportunity of a satisfactory type play. But on the what if, giving up on the pass, giving up on the RPO, paying more attention to the run, I don't think that's the formula, because each game calls for a different game plan. I would hope. We're not going out there doing the same thing. It depends on how this first half goes. The first half is very important to Bama. They can't
Now,
let happen to Uga happen. And they can't
right.
second half happen what happened like at Vandy.
Yeah, I look at it this way too. I think the offense needs to get the ball to Williams, the wide receiver, who has 19 receptions, 544 yards, and 6 touchdowns. He's unbelievable. He's 17 years old. Um,
His footwork.
he's out there. He's out there, got the footwork and stuff like that. But some teams have taken him, has double teamed them, and it still has not worked. How
And
do
he's
they
not
get the
that
ball
big.
more?
You know, he's not that big. So you only have that 5 yard to chuck him. After that, hey, it's on you. So you got to figure out an underneath, over the top, and somebody to be there to later boom so he let that ball go. His footwork and his core strength of balance has been tested and proven. Thumbs up.
Yeah. So, I mean, you got Williams on one side. So now, what does South Carolina defense got to do to accommodate, not to make Milrose be effective like he was the first few games for that Vandy game? But Milrose, they got to tell away from him. They got to have him distribute the ball out. What receiver needs to step up? I mean, they need more people to step up for Alabama's offense to really work. That's what Washington was. It was a pass, and they passed it to different people. They didn't pass it to certain people, 1 or 2 people. How did he get that same philosophy? Or is we just got to wait till he actually recruits his style of players?
Well, I think he has in there for his first year, he has the players that he wants and need to do what he needs to do. Over on the defensive side, what I think South Carolina needs to do, no unsportsmanlike conducts, no pum celebrations. Stay in the game. Stay in the game. Any celebrations using the pum, I think the player should be ejected. Let's get it right. Let's attack this right now. College football. Anybody doing a pum celebration, you're ejected from the game. You're suspended again. We're gonna start right there. Let's cut all that out, Ray. If South Carolina can go back and playing defensive football as the expectations, because they got a youngster on defense too. I think he's 18 years old, and he reminds everybody of Julius Peppers. The way he can hit, his lateral movement, his acceleration, his love of the game. But he's a little agitated on the celebrations. They calm that down, they can shock the world today. If they calm that down.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Now, let's talk about
Carolina's defense.
Let's talk about what happened towards the end of that Vandy game a little bit with safety Alleg Moore. His unsportsmanlike conduct, unbecoming what Alabama has shown. I mean, they really had nobody to show this frustration on the field, kicking the football, getting that unsportsmanlike conduct. Do you think they should suspend him for at least 1 game for that incident of kicking the football, being out there throwing a tantrum, putting an eye on Alabama as a negative way?
I definitely would. I'm gonna let you know you're not bigger than the game, son. This is not what we do here. This is not what college football needs. I'm going to give you time to reflect upon this. I'm going to suspend you the first half of the next game. Let him reflect. Let him have that moment. I don't want to take away the whole game from him because he had a little stupidity on the field, in the moment, in the eye of the storm. So I'm going to suspend him the first half of the game.
Yeah, it looks like that DeVar took up for him. He said, this is a quote from the head coach of Alabama, DeVar. He's a guy that's pretty much out there every play. So right now I'm expecting that to be the case. So he expecting to play today's game, not worrying about what he's done. Is that reflect on the coach a little bit there, saying, hey, if you're going to throw a 10th champ, you can get away with it? Because I'm still not going to let you, suspend you for that. Is that showing some not leadership wise?
When you're coming into a new football program, all those players are not yours. You're getting to know each other. They don't have that bonding time as they had 20 years ago. Everything has changed. They got rules and regulations on when you can have workouts and meet with your players on the collegiate level. So I'm thinking he's probably heard rumors about this kid. May have, may not. Don't have that one-on-one with him every day, but I'm quite sure the position coach does, and said, let me take care of this, coach. I don't think it's a reflection upon the coaching. No way. Too early for that. Now, if he'd been there probably 4 or 5 years, you're damn right. You should have known that boy was going to erupt. But a first-year coach in a program such as the standards of Bama, I can't go that way. That's unfair. That's like blaming the new boyfriend or the stepdaddy and the kid already been a piece of shit all year. Now you want to point the finger at them. This is your fault. This happened under your watch. Yo, I just got her.
And then
we just started dating.
Then this is a sort of a Alabama reunion with South Carolina coach Shane Beamer said he will enjoy the Alabama visit in part because he'll be reconnected with former Tide player Sylvester Croom, who gave Beamer his first full-time coaching job when Croom was coach at Mississippi State. Croom is a part of a celebration for Alabama national championship team in 1974.
Yeah,
that's a little bit of a
few years ago.
A little bit of a story there. So, I mean, if you look at this thing here, both teams are going to have a running back. Both teams should be having a running game a little bit here. South Carolina definitely needs a running game. And there, Raheem Sanders carrying 8 times for 29 yards against Ole Miss it's not going to cut it. How does the offensive line move Alabama's defensive line so they can get a running game going so they can get that play action pass going?
See, that's not the problem with Bama. I don't know why sometimes Bama act like they want to put up 80 points. And then it seems like somebody tells them on the sideline of one of the coaches, look, let's not embarrass people today. Let's turn it down a little bit. Because it seemed like the body language and the behavior of the players and the way the plays were being called in that other game, it seemed like that was going on. Bama can run the ball. They can throw the ball. It's up to them how often they want to do it with succession. It's up to them on the tempo and how many points they want to put on the board. Bama's offense has the ability, to me, to put up 52 to 55 points a game. They have that ability. That's without defensive input and special teams. Just the offense, to me, they have the ability to put up 52 to 55 points a game.
Yeah, and then Tony commented again. He said the quarterbacks are more dual threats than just pure pocket passes. Ironic that the same Bama team had to deal with a scrambler and Jaden Daniels at LSU. Williams reminds me of Devon Smith from a few years ago. He's a small dude that is a great route runner and will go up and get the ball. I agree with you there, Tony. And then Tony went on here and commented what your guys thought of number 13 on defense, a fifth-year senior captain. And that's what we were just talked about too a little bit there. He's a senior. He taps him like that, and it looks like the coach is not going to do anything about it. He's probably going to get. He's playing. The coach is dealing him up as, he's out there playing all the time, getting it hard out. He just got frustrated, kicked the ball. I don't believe that. When I was going playing football and we lose like that, we always show team, unity and respect to the other team because we got our butts kicked. But I mean, you got to look at it this way too. You got to have sportsmanship out there.
I know where this kid is coming from. You ever lost a game that you competed in so high? You know where you lost the game at. You know as a player where you lost the game at. You know exactly what happened. That's what that was. He knew exactly what happened. He couldn't keep it inside. It's not embarrassment to the other team and to the coaches. He had to get it out of him. If you've never expressed yourself in sports as a young athlete, professional athlete, I'm sorry, but it happens. You have what they call a competitive breakdown because in your head the exact play, the exact moment you lost that damn game. It may say on the board we lost 18-7, but the moment you were going to lose that game because something happened in that game that kept happening. Nobody was addressing the issue. That's what that was. That's the competitive edge. And it happens each and every time. Even on Sundays, we see it. Because when you practice and you know your athleticism, and you know your teammates, your brothers to the left and right. You know all of that. But there's a moment in the game that happens that's unexplainable, but only you saw it. And by the time it gets to everybody else, it's too late, but it already hit you. Again, it's no knock on the coaching staff. It's no embarrassment to college football. It wasn't unsportsmanlike conduct. It was sportsman conduct outburst. That's what I call it.
Yeah. And if you look at it, this makes a key point too. He refused to sub out by the defensive coordinator and by the head coach. So he just totally disrespected the defensive coordinator and the head coach when he didn't want to be subbed out. So I mean, to me, I'm surprised he ain't suspending them for at least, like you said, at least the first half or maybe this game.
I think the pum-pums are more egregious behavior than that. Yeah. You mean to tell me you're my best player and you're going to simulate that? Now, that is a reflection on the coaching staff. That is disrespect. That is unsportsmanlike conduct. That is automatic ejection. That is suspension one whole game.
I'm surprised they didn't come down with that.
Not want to come out of the game. Coach, I got this dude. I'm good. Coach, I got him, Coach. I got him, Coach. We say it every week. But just because it's Bama, no. I'm not holding the standard, and it happens across the board every weekend.
So we're going to find out how the board takes the defeat and see if they can bring Alabama back. Who do you have in this ball game today? You have South Carolina or you have Alabama?
I got Bama.
I'm taking Bama too. I think Bama's going to be really, really mad, and I think they're going to come out. I don't even think South Carolina will probably have a chance in this ball game. That's just my opinion. So we both got Alabama in this game here. Let's go down to our next breakdown game here, and that will be the number 10, Clemson at Wake Forest. This game is at noon on ESPN. It's from Legacy Federal Credit Union Stadium in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. How do you see this game playing out? Now we're going to see what Clemson is made. We know they are in a neutral court, a neutral field. They have won some games on the road and they have won some games at home. But how does Clemson now carry over this onto a road trip that the fans will be hyped for this ball game because Wake Forest does sell out, even though they are not a pretty up there in the rankings of the ACC right now? How does this game turn out for Clemson? Does Clemson overlook Wake Forest, or is this a game that they will take serious?
Well, I think college football and the ACC loves a smiling, happy Dabo Swinney. Daggone it. Now he's crossed the hump because of the early season loss. He's gotten past, I'm not taking NIL. That's not true, guys. I just know what I want, and I know what I need here at this Clemson football program. Okay, Dabo. Now Dabo is where the expectations were expected at the beginning of the season. Here we are. And what a matchup for him, Wake Forest. This is like in the backyard playing with their relatives down the street. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think now the confidence in the football team that Clemson thought they were, I think they're here right now. Now I want to see it all come together. I want to see it, all those ingredients going to make this meal. We'll put it in that blender. I want to see it come out the right way now. Show me how it's going to do it. This is the game for them. This is that we got this game.
Yeah, we look at this right here. This is interesting right here. Backmeyer, who is the quarterback for Wake Forest, is 112 out of 176 for 1,313 yards, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. But look at Klubnik. Klubnik's thrown the ball 143 times, only completed 92 for 1,219 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. So his numbers are not a little bit better in yards, but it is a little bit better in touchdown, but they have the same amount of interceptions. But what's the key here is the running back. Both teams got good XL running backs, and Claiborne for Wake Forest, 81 carries, 471 yards, and 6 touchdowns. And then you got Mafia for Clemson with 68 carries, 496 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But the difference here is Clemson defense has to worry about the wide receiver and Morin. Wake Forest has 26 receptions, 345 yards. And then Wake Forest got to worry about Williams, who has 19 receptions, 280 yards, and 4 touchdowns. But Williams is the go-getter for Clemson. If he gets off hot, Clemson's a different team. There's a difference between that and Mafia going off. If Williams has to get going because Williams is the emotional leader for this offense, not Klubnik, not Mafia, but Williams gets his offense going. How does Wake Forest take Williams out and keep him out of this game?
Well, for one, for Clemson to keep that tempo going where it's at, which I think they need to receive the ball. If Clemson gets the ball first, watch out. I think they may score in 5 plays because that tempo is where Trevor Lawrence had that tempo. It's right there. It is right there. A little bit of Deshaun and a little bit of Trevor Lawrence is right there. And Dabo kind of likes that tempo. Not Chip Kelly style, okay, but ACC Dabo Sweeney type style tempo. It's right there. On the defensive side, Clemson is trying to let you know, hey, we can play defense as well too now. Our football team can play some defense. Don't challenge us. But I think the offense is going to be the standard to set the tempo of the game for Clemson today against Wake Forest. But if the defense gets out there first, okay. Let me show you what we got here. 3 and out. Let's go. But I think the first possession for Clemson, they're scoring within 5 plays.
Really? You think that?
Oh, yeah.
You think they'll –
Dude, they're fast, man. And when Dabo is smiling and he's clapping like this and looking at his coaches, that tempo moving the right way he wants. That means all the coaches are clicking. Everything they worked about this week, they're doing, and it's working just fine and dandy.
Now, since Clemson has ran the ball effectively the last 3 weeks, do we see now? Do we now see them coming out first play of the game, play action pass, see if Wake Forest is keying on the running back instead of the wide receiver? If they are, and they bite that linebacker bite, they could go deep and could score in that first play deep pass. Debo is looking for that. He's looking for that. He's looking for that play action first pass play. I mean, that could be a way to set Williams off real quick and see who they really are keying on. And that's what some teams do. Some teams will come out and see if you're really keying on our running game, since we have run the ball effectively the last 3 weeks. So if they are keying on trying to stop the run, that pass over the safety could be a very intriguing thing here in the beginning. Do we actually see them calling that play?
I like the RPO for Clemson coming out in that spread. I like that look, like the one Deshaun used to run with them. I like that play a lot.
Yeah, it's going to be 69 degrees, partly cloudy at Winston-Salem today. We are getting in football weather here, so everything should be getting to normal, where we see cold teams playing in the cold and hot teams playing in the hot. Down in Florida here, it's still kind of it was 65 degrees last night here in Florida.
It was 94 degrees last night, that Arizona State game in the desert. This football weather, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, so we see all kinds of stuff going on here for this team. And how do we see Wake Forest in that match point? We have not really seen them do that match point like they did with Hartman there. And are they going to get back to that? Because that sometimes that throws teams off. If they hit that slow, you don't know if the running back's got the ball, the quarterback's going to pull it back out and throw it out. We really have not seen that much. They have the players that can run it, but why haven't we seen them tell it from that?
Not everybody can sell the product. He can't sell the product, so why even waste your time? There are a lot of people that try to sell things and do well. If you can't do it well, why are we still going with this coach? You got to go with something that quarterback can do. So we fall under that trend of trying to get the same production and satisfaction out of the same players 2 and 3 years apart. That doesn't happen all the time. You got to use their attributes. Let that go with your game plan. And that's what I used to accuse a few coaches of a few years ago, especially in the ACC. You're trying to have these kids do something that they can't do, and you're frustrated with them. You got to find you a quarterback that can do what you want them to do in order for you to be happy, instead of you folding your arms every damn play, because that body language don't look good at all. Now that right there don't look good to me.
Yeah, and if you look at Wake Forest's schedule here, it started the season. They beat North Carolina A&T 45-13, but they lost to Virginia 31-30. Lost to Ole Miss, which we figured they probably would, but they lost them 40-6. But then they lose to University of Louisiana 41-38. And then they beat a team that they supposed to, at the beginning of the season won't predict to win, was North Carolina State. They beat them 34-30. At
They
Carter
lost the
Filling
game
Stadium.
31-30, 41-38. I bet those two games, offensively, defensively, everybody can go to how they lost that game. There's probably one play how they lost that game. Penalty, something. They weren't blown out in those games. Those were winnable games that they lost. Those are teachable games. When you lose a game by 1 point, you know why. You lose a game by 3 points, you both put up, 79 points combined? You know why.
Yep.
Those games 41-6, that's furniture moving time there. You cussing out your coaches. Jared, we talked about this all week. Bob, what's your problem? Steve, talk to me. 41-6, yeah, the expectations are here. Productivity down here don't make sense. That's what
now. If we look at Clemson, they lost to the University of Georgia 34-3, but they were close in that game to the fourth quarter. In that game, then they beat Appalachian State 66-20. They beat North Carolina State 59-35. They beat Stanford 40-14, and then they went to FSU and beat them 29-13. So I mean, Clemson's on a roll there. 4 straight wins here. Can this be number 5 today? What does Clemson have to do to keep that rolling? I know the up-tempo offense, we want to see that continue to go. We want to see Klubnik. Now, will Klubnik use his leg in this ball game too? Because he is a running quarterback. He wants to be a passer first, run second, but if the plays break down, he can extend out plays with his legs, or he can take it down the field. So now, does Wake Forest defense have to put a spy on Klubnik today?
I bet offensive coordinator for Clemson probably telling his quarterback and his quarterback coach this. We already have a plan for the first drive. But if we see something different, we're going to go with that. Let's go with the plan, but at the line in your preset, let's see what the defense is giving us. See if you want to eat there. You want to eat there or take your meals accordingly to plan. That's it. I wouldn't put on the defensive side for Wake Forest, I wouldn't emphasize too much of the spy. It's just like in the old video game formula of Madden. Let me see what they got in their bag of tricks in this first 2 or 3 plays. If they're pass heavy, RPO heavy, or they are in the middle of the field with the run game. My defensive captain, stand up. Defensive coordinator, I need to hear you. Let me see what the communication is like on that first drive. That pretty much tells a whole lot of the defensive tendencies in the beginning, sometimes. But in the ACC, they're kind of predictable what they're going to do for as defensive schemes.
Yeah, if we look at the line today, the line for this Clemson game, Clemson is favored by 20.5. And then the over and under in this ball game is, let me see if I can find where they put it at here. Is 60.5 is the over and under in this ball game.
50?
60.5.
Oh, 60. Oh yeah, I like that over under. I like that.
So it's gonna be kind of interesting here in this ball game for Clemson and Wake Forest here. Got a little bit of thing here. Both teams coming. Tigers are 4-1, 3-0 in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Demon Dinkins is 2-3 and 1-1. This is the first time Dinkins has been since 2008 that they have started 1-1 in the ACC. That was when Tommy Bowden was hiring of Sweeney, who the job was full time after the season, has beaten Wake Forest every season since. So can Wake Forest break the streak? Debo keep beating them. So that's going to be a key right there.
Yeah, the Demon Deacons playing at home in football. I don't know if that's a big advantage point this year with this team, but it's always good to play at home, get that little fan support. I get it. But I think Clemson is just on a high right now. They're not buying. They're back in the program.
And then if you look at what Clausen said earlier in this week, you realize how thin the margin is between winning and losing, and where we're on the right side of it. But okay, we're on the wrong side of a few of those, and then you move forward. So, I mean, he's got his mindset where he's telling his team, hey, look, we're right there at the cusp. Can they take that step up now and beat Clemson today and stop that 4-game win streak of Clemson?
I don't think Wake Forest has a shot in hell beating Clemson today, unless Clemson just goes out here and just everybody got into a fight. They went hard in the paint. It has to be total disarray. Play unrecognizable Clemson ACC style football. I don't see Wake Forest. I don't see an upset in this one at all. I haven't seen that Wake Forest team from the past 2 years. I don't see that in this team. It's not there. They lost too many players. But Clemson,
if you look at it,
different level.
And I think Dave Clawson said something very interesting too. This is a quote right from the Wake Forest head coach. When transfers gets a lot of money, it don't work out. Don't think that doesn't cause issues in the locker room. Do you agree with that statement?
Yes. We saw what happened in UNLV. Yes, that is an issue. That is a huge issue. What goes on in these locker rooms on the collegiate level is bigger than what we will ever know. Bigger than it causes major distractions. Major distractions. When they're doing the pew, 85% of those times is something else going on. That has nothing to do about the game. But yeah, you're so right on that.
Yeah, so I mean that's a little bit of an interesting thing there. Here, so as we go on, so you're taking number 10 Clemson over Wake Forest today, correct?
Give it to me.
Is that what your feeling is? Yeah, I'm taking the same thing here. All right, my friend. We're gonna do a little bit of fast, rapid fire here on one game. Number 21, Missouri at Massachusetts, UMass.
Mizzou better win this damn game. I need the greatest detective series in the Midwest to return. Cook and Burden.
So you think they need to get more of the burden than anything?
Yeah, I need Cook to make better decisions at the quarterback position.
All right, we're going to move right along. We're going to go to Washington at Iowa. The time is at noon on Fox at Kinnick Stadium in Iowa City, Iowa, where the fourth quarter tradition is the best, I think, in college football. I'm sympathetic to kids who are diagnosed with cancer, and that's a shame that they have to be in a hospital and stuff like that. But I think the way they built that hospital, I think it gives them an opportunity to look at the football game and also give the fans time to wave at them and stuff like that. I respect that so much of Iowa and their home tradition of waving at the fan at the hospital in the fourth quarter. All right, Washington comes to town in Iowa and Washington. What do you see in this ball game here today? This is a total contrast of offense here. We see Iowa's moving into the passing game a little bit more than they are in the running game. They're a little bit changing it around with a new offensive coordinator. They're 3-2, 1-1 in conference play. Washington is the first time year in the Big Ten. They're 4-2 and 2-1 in conference play. They pretty much even out the matchup here. The 58.9% for Iowa, 41.1% for the matchup predicted for Washington to win this game. It's pretty much a toss-up. McNamara, who's a transfer out of Michigan 2 years ago, is 78 out of 122, 686 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions for Iowa. And but you look at Will Rogers, who is 131 out of 178, 1,625 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 1 interception. He has not turned the ball over in a high rate. Both teams like to run the ball. They got 2 running backs here. For Washington, 90 carries, 601 yards, and 5 touchdowns. But look at Iowa's running back at 97 carries, and Johnson with 771 yards, 10 touchdowns leading the team. So how do you make out this contrast of offense? One likes to pass the ball around and run a little bit effectively this year than they did under DeBar's. So Fisk has brought the Arizona type offense he had in Arizona. It's working great in Washington right now, even though they're only 4-2 and 2-1. They had to get some thing. I think they got their feet under them around that. Washington's playing great. Iowa's been sputtering in the last few weeks.
If I'm Washington, I'm not treating this as a Big Ten game. I'm treating this like a bowl game. That'd be my philosophy. I wouldn't even think about that Big Ten type of the numbers or statistically, none of that situation. Iowa's a tough place to play in. Washington is not the same team they were last year. Losing a coach, losing players like that, that's hard to rebound from. But I like the recovery. I like the effort that they're having. It's a different type of style of play. It's a little slower. And I think that's really going to help build Washington into the program they're trying to become. On the other side of this thing, Iowa has somehow lost its identity. Somewhere, something happened. They need that identity boost like Clemson had after losing their game opener. And we talked about a minute ago how Dabo has that smile back and confidence back. That's what Iowa needs to do. I don't know if it's going to be the wave from the kids. I don't know if it's going to be the chant from the supporting home base. Maybe that good old-fashioned Iowa food. But if Iowa can get back that good old-fashioned Iowa feeling and Washington treats this like a bowl game, this is going to be one hell of a matchup this afternoon.
Yeah, you look at this thing here. They got the odds is Iowa by 2.5. Over and under is pretty low. It's about 45 points here because I think Iowa's going to party
because Iowa can slow it down.
Yeah. So, but I mean, if you look at this thing here, anything that can happen in this ball game. This is both teams are really matched up very evenly. I think whatever offense comes up, if the team shows up that played Michigan last week and won, this team could put some numbers up against Iowa. But Iowa's defense has been excellent. So I mean, how did Iowa defense continue the good work against a team that likes to throw the ball and toss it all the way around?
Yeah, I'm worried about the speed in the secondary and the sideline to sideline. I'm worried about that for Iowa, but just in the mouth, in a straight line, and attacking the ball, Iowa has the advantage point on that. I'm a little weary on the speed on the corners, and again going sideline to sideline. A little weary on that. But Iowa has a good defense, and they have the way of that tempo on defense of slowing things down. But if Washington can get comfortable, get that tempo back, not from last year, but get comfortable where they had a little consistency earlier this year, they can take control of this game. But if they let Iowa control the tempo and the time of possession, it could be a long afternoon for Washington.
Yeah, and to me, I always got to watch out for the safety and Carmel Basham. His name is Fabiulan.
Your mama called you Clay. I'm gonna call you Clay.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll just call him Carmen. So I mean, he's a few holdovers from the team that played Michigan in the national championship. He sealed the game up last week, set up a late field goal to seal it 27-17 over the Wolverines. How does Iowa stay away from him? And then if you look out on the other end, Washington's got to stay away from linebacker Jay Higgins, who came off his best game of the season against Ohio State, 14 tackles, a sack, forced fumble, a fumble recovery. He leads the Hawkeyes, and he's second in the Big Ten in tackles with 48.
I don't like that phrase. Why should they stay away from him? You got to have the right situation. Everybody knows he's going to get his targets. They're not going to not throw the ball at him, not go to him, not put him in plays. But you can't make it obvious. When you have a star and you know you need him to get involved in the game, you need that motivation. You need his energy. You got to call the right play, but I'm not going to say stay away from a guy. No. All these different offensive schemes, especially what the U has shown us, what Clemson has shown us, what UGA has shown us, utilize that tight end, utilize that motion when you can't get the ball to your star, when you need to get your star involved. But to stay away from a guy, I don't see that happening no more collegiately at all. Now, when you make it obvious, mistakes happen, Ray, and they call them what, kids? Pick six, daddy. What they call them, son? Scoop and score. When you make it obvious, that's where the issue is at. But staying away from guys, no.
Yeah, I mean, this game is a little bit intriguing, though. You got a different style of type offense. You got Iowa trying to change their offense a little bit, add the passing game to it. I think that's what got Iowa off track a little bit. I think Iowa needs to go back to the running game and start doing what their true identity is, and then sprinkle in the play action pass. It might be a more effective way for Iowa to get this game going. Now, do we see the offensive coordinator kind of changing that back a little bit, run first, and then go with a little bit of play action pass? Because McNamara, I think he's better at the play action pass than sitting back there and trying to pass the ball and then trying to run after you trying to get the passing game to lead into the running game.
Let's face it. Iowa is pretty predictable when it comes to offense. We know what Iowa's going to do. You can turn the volume down. You can look at the field position, time left in the game, and the score, and you can know what Iowa's going to do offensively. The game changes for them, to me, defensively with Iowa. But as far as them being creative on the offensive side, no. When they get out of character, you got to stay in your character, Joe. When they get out of character, bad things happen. They close the curtains at the hospital. When you get out of character, bad things happen. Stay with the plan. Stay within your lane. Okay? You stay there, then you're keeping your game, you're keeping your team in the game. But when you take us out of uniform and take us to the wrong door, coach, how are we supposed to get to the field, coach? You even said it. They lost the game when they got out of character. You're doing things that's not Iowa football. You having tendencies that is not Iowa football.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a thing there too. I mean, you got the over and under in this game is 41.5. So
I like that.
The spread is 2.5. So.
I like that. Iowa's a tough place to play in. Tough place.
Yeah. So who are you going with in this ball game? So who you got in this ball game then? Who you got in this ball game then?
You know what? Give me Iowa.
Take it Iowa.
Give me Iowa.
I'm gonna take Iowa too. I don't see Washington going into Iowa. This is the first time Washington has visited Iowa, and I just
tell you
told different.
Iowa wins. I'm gonna watch the movie All the Right Moves with Tom Cruise and Leah Thompson tomorrow morning before we kick off at 8:30 in the NFL. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, Jaguars overseas next week. This weekend. For the next 2 weeks, Jaguars will be playing the 9:30 game. So they play Chicago. They play Chicago for their home game. Then they turn around and beat the visiting team to New England.
Chicago, I love it.
All right, talk about New England and Drake May's going to get the start this week. Let's go. Let's talk about North Carolina and the situation that's going on there in North Carolina right now.
How are you, buddy? How are you with the way Carolina's been playing this year? You need some counseling, some therapy? Vent.
No,
get off your chest.
Don't you remember? Don't you remember when we first kicked off saying that Carolina's going to go if the quarterback goes? Quarterback ain't going. So I mean, defense not even going.
In 3 weeks, Ray. Get it off your chest. Let the people know how you feel. That's your squad, your program.
I look at it this way. This is what I like the way they should have started Criswell at the beginning of the season. I think they would have been better off. He'll have more experience than he has right now. He has thrown the ball very well. He's over 1,158 yards and 88 out of 156. But 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions is not going to cut it for North Carolina. But what I want to talk about, and I wanted your opinion on, is Matt Brown on the hot seat right now.
See, I thought the game, and it's unfair. I don't want to, no age discrimination here. But when it comes to football and the technology side of it, I thought we lost Mac Brown a few years ago. That whole Texas incident bullcrap went down. Then he gets back to North Carolina where he's comfortable in those roots. He has that familiar face and name. He has that winning personality. And he's making you think of Carolina not just in men's basketball, women's basketball, and soccer, but also on that gridiron field. I admire that about Mac Brown. But this year, the points you guys have been giving up, yes, I have questions.
Yeah.
What's going on? Is it injuries? Is it stubbornness? Is it the coaches? Is this thing going? Do we got to pick up the phone and call Chapel Hill? What's going on, Mac Brown? Get it off your chest.
Yeah, I look at it this way. This is 2 points that way I look at it here. Carolina's going to be effective because I knew Drake May was going to be gone. When Drake May gone, the quarterback position was going to drop off. That's why I said Carolina's going to go with the quarterback takes them. But they also got to have some receivers to step up. J.J. Jones stepped up a few times, but the defense has not stepped up one single bit in some of these ball games.
Accountability.
Yeah, I mean, they started off 3-0. Now they have lost 3 straight. And the mind-boggling was they were up 20-0 to Duke and came back and let Duke score 21 unanswered points in the second half. Did not change anything up. To me, I think it's the coaching ability because they don't make no changes at halftime. When Matt Brown gets up in games, and it has happened last year and it has happened this year, he relies on the running back to try to shorten the game, and then they lose their offensive continuity. If he would continue the offensive continuity the whole time during the game and not take his foot off the gas, I think Carolina would have been better. But he took his foot off the gas, let Duke get back in the game. Defense don't show up after halftime. They go to halftime, either they eat or they sleep because they didn't show up in that Duke game. They ain't showing up in that Pitt game in the second half. They had a lead against Pitt, and they still lost the game by 10.
What you telling me? There needs to be some furniture moving done at halftime in that locker room.
Yeah, and then James Madison scores. When you score 50 points and you let the other team score 70 points, and James Madison, and you 120 points, and you lose the game as a Power 5 conference team, to me, I think Matt Brown should have questioned himself at that game. I think he should have questioned what the offense was doing, what the defense was doing. Why we get a defensive coordinator who's known for defense, but he doesn't show up and coach the defense because the defense has been nonchalant the last 3 to 4 years under Matt Brown.
So in college, we can't put too much blame on the players because we coach these players the whole week for our game plan. So what it sounds like, Mac Brown should be talking to his coaches. I need some accountability here. I need that coaches meeting to just be our coaches. What's going on here? How did they get 70 points? Not taking nothing away from JMU, phenomenal school program. If they'd have just kept their mouth shut when they were undefeated, things would have changed. But I'm not taking away anything from JMU. I'm just trying to add to the situation and even the content here of what's going on with Mac Brown. Should he be on the hot seat? What does the hot seat mean? What's the backup plan? We can't wait till the last minute in college football. Those days are over with. You got to be ahead of the curve. So if this is it for Mac Brown, this is a hot seat situation, what's next? Could this be the turnaround game? Because that game against Duke, I think that's probably the first time in a long time I wanted to call you FaceTime. But I didn't because I had that in me, and I didn't want to call it. Because you got that in you, and you've been watching college football and gambling, things don't come out the way you think it's going to come out. But back to
I look at this. This is what I look at here.
Mac Brown fired. He's good for North Carolina. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's a good recruiter, but I think the coaching day. I mean, if you want to keep him on the staff, he won't stay on the staff. Keep him as a recruiting coordinator.
Don't pimp him out. Don't do him like that. Don't Babe Ruth him now. Come on.
Hey, but I mean, we don't have no coaching and waiting. They don't have no plan right now. Who's going to be the next coach or who they're going to try? There have not been talks that Matt Brown's going to be on the hot seat, but they might give him a choice to either retire or then we might have to force you out a little bit there. But I mean, I understand that the situation here, but we got a nemesis. Georgia Tech comes in the Kenan Stadium, 4-2, 2-2. Georgia Tech is not a slouch. They beat Duke 24-14 last week. They lost to Louisville 31-19. They destroyed VMI. They lost to Syracuse 31-28. They beat Georgia Southern 35-12, but they beat FSU at the beginning of the season unexpectedly with 2 different broad things. You can't take Tech lightly. Their offense has changed from the triple option to a spread option type team. They got a good quarterback. Carolina secondary is going to be tested again today. They do have 2 good corners in Marcus Allen and Husky there, but they also got a front 7 that's supposed to be a dominant front 7, but they have not really. Desmond Evans has not shown up really too much in the last 3 weeks. Cameron Rucker was injured the first against JMU 2 weeks out. He just came back, made a little bit of effective noise against Pitt, but he needs us to be out there to feel a little bit more. They only had him out there for maybe 10 or 15 plays. He's coming back off injury. He's going to play more today. But how does we get North Carolina's offense and defense to play a full game instead of playing up to halftime?
So you made a great point in the beginning of the segment. Something's going on at halftime. They're eating and sleeping. You can't do both. So you got to figure out what's going on at halftime to keep that tempo and get that momentum back and that energy back, whether it's through a player, whether it's through a coach, whether it's through a speech. Put me in, coach. Put Booby in. Maybe they need that. On the other side, Georgia Tech is a technology school. No pun intended, kids in Atlanta. Calm down. But I think now, since they built up that football program, Calvin Johnson went down there and gave that speech. Things have changed. Now they're starting to get through NIL and getting football coaches down there instead of people just filling voids and holes and spots like they're doing in high school baseball with coaches. Focus, Dre. Now they're getting players down there that are sliding through they're not bad football players. They just don't have the patience to wait. Hello, transfer portal. So they're getting football players secretly in the back door and side door and screen door and the roof down in GT, and you turn around in about 2 years, that's probably a top 15 program right now. Yeah. So be careful on Georgia Tech. They're getting something down there going called confidence. And that's the one thing you don't want to give a program or a player that's been to 3 or 4 different colleges, and he's going to come up on the radar, and we're going to see his high school transcripts like, damn, how do we miss out on this 6'6" beast with all these numbers? Reminding everybody of the freak, Javon Curse down there. That could happen. If you look at this,
the Georgia Tech is favored by 6 points. The over and under is 57.5. So, I mean, it's going to be a good. I mean, it's going to be a game. But Mario Hampton is the leading rusher for North Carolina. He has 137 carries for 764 yards and 7 touchdowns. He's going to have to get the ball a little bit more to make it effective for Criswell and this offense to be effective against Georgia Tech. But does Georgia Tech come out in an 8-man front? And do we see North Carolina, like the Clemson game, do we see North Carolina come out and try to do a play-action pass and see if they're really keying on Omar Hampton?
Well, we already know what Carolina can do offensively. We know that. We know they can score. They like to run. They like to throw. They're pretty much balanced offensively. The issue with Carolina is the defense. That's it. Georgia Tech, on the other hand, they're kind of like a Jekyll and Hyde with their offense. So if they did any game film watching, talking to Carolina's defensive coordinators and defensive staff and positional coaches, they're going to have the same problem. We don't know what they're going to do. They have like a balanced, unbalanced type of thing offensively. We know they're trying to establish a game plan and a consistent program, what they're going to do, but they're still going through their identity crisis. So on the defensive side for Carolina, they don't know what they're going to expect. So this has to be an offensive game. The offense has got to control this game in order for Carolina to win this game. On the other side, Georgia Tech knows for a fact they're playing a swivel head type of team. They're playing an identity crisis team. And the second half, Carolina has proven us that's not the same team. So if Georgia Tech can hang with them in the first half, they can turn this thing around and win this game in the second half. Late in the fourth quarter, probably own the whole fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of things too there, and that we got to see going on here. But to me, being a Carolina fan and watching this team play, knowing the last 3 or 4 years that they had a good quarterbacks and stuff like that, but now they got Criswell back. We knew the quarterback was going to be a little bit down. They thought Carroll was going to be the answer because he was a highly talented freshman coming in, and he's in his redshirt sophomore year. I mean, he's got to have a little bit more growing. I think him watching Criswell play a little bit more here is going to give him a little bit of satisfaction. I think he's going to be ready for the future of next year instead of having him playing this year. But to me, they need J.J. Jones to step up in wide receiver. Wide receiver core has not stepped up in any game really. And Paysor just came back 2 weeks ago off of injury. So now they got to get him back involved in the offense. If they can get the two explosive guys out in the thing, they can open up a little bit more to get an Omar Hampton. But they don't play call that. They get the ball to Hampton, and they try to throw a little RPOs out there. How does we see Georgia Tech now defending North Carolina a little bit? And then how do we see North Carolina defense? Can they play a whole game? That's the question. Can Carolina's defense play a whole game like they do in the first half?
See, that's the thing. We as fans, when we get caught up in the moment, they're not doing the things that we know they should be doing, but we don't look at the other side. What if it's not there? Then they turn into a forcing situation. Then they get into a tip drill. Tip drill turns into what, kids? Pick six. We don't want that. So we want the things that it's an old term and phrase used. Take what the defense is giving to you. But when it's not clicking and you're trying to boost the team and get some morale going, you do things that are uncommon to you. You're throwing on the run off the wrong leg. You're throwing in the triple coverage, but he came down with the ball, or you're getting a handkerchief on the field. We can't rely on that all the time. Sometimes skill set must come in. Sometimes football IQ comes in. Actual play calling. Actually getting to that offensive line and looking at the defense comes to play. You just can't say hike and just turn and throw. It needs to be let the play develop. But when they get to rushing the play or the receiver runs the wrong route, oh, my God. That's why I love a lot, too. A lot of these quarterbacks have been blamed for interceptions this year. But if you go back to the replay and they break down the play, you can clearly see that the receiver or the tight end or the back ran the wrong damn route. And the quarterback is throwing to a spot because they're teaching kids to throw on the spot, not to the open receiver. Get to your spot. So if they can do that, that can produce W's, point differential, team victory. Everybody's smiling. Everybody going to get pizza after the game.
Yeah. And then to me, this is the one player that I really worry about on Georgia Tech's team is the quarterback. King.
Oh, yeah.
King is a dual threat quarterback. Man. And Carolina has a problem with a quarterback that is dual threat. You see that James Madison game. They couldn't put him down. Look at the Pitt game. Couldn't put him down. You know, to me, I think that the defense was missing Cameron Rucker, who was supposed to be that dominant defensive player, but now he's back. And then in that Pitt game, he really didn't do too much. He forced a little bit of a play call and forced a little bit when he's out there, but he was coming back off of injury, so they had a play list limited for him. Today, we should see a little bit more. We should see a little bit more effectiveness of pass rush. And that's what Carolina has not generated. It has not generated pass rush whatsoever in football games. They let quarterbacks pick them apart. They don't play man. They play man, then they go to zone and let them beat them off the ball. And when they get beat deep. And that's the problem that I see right here. If I made my list right now, Matt Brown is on my hot seat. It's not because I'm a fan of North Carolina. It's because I'm looking at it as a biased sportscaster. I think he is on the hot seat. I think it's time to move on from him. That's just an opinion. I thought it was good to bring him back, but then they've let go a little bit more of an ego here. I think they need a tougher coach. I think they need somebody who can throw abilities and be dominant out there a little bit. But Carolina's never going to be a football school, really. But they have some players in the NFL. They have some Hall of Famers in Lawrence Taylor and Julius Peppers that came through, and Choo Justice and Nate Means and a few others. But to me, Carolina's going to be more. They always label as a basketball school. That's what it's going to be. I don't think they can get a coach in here to formulate a football program like Matt Brown did. But, you got to give him his hats off. He did come back. He did right the ship a little bit, got some good recruits in, but it has not matched on the field. And you can see from some of the products that it has put out the last 3 weeks, the last 3 years of his tenure.
You know, it's when you're a coach like in a name like Mac Brown, you have that appeal to you. And when it does come time, the transition is going to be even worse. It's not going to be an immediate likable thing, especially for the older generation in Carolina. Those of you know who you are. But for the younger generation, they want something hot, new, and different. That whole transition is going to take some time. So you got to get prepared for that. In the same time, Mac Brown is saying, don't put me out to the pasture and shoot me yet. He still has a great football mindset. They have to figure out what is going on at halftime. What are we – hopefully they fix it this past week. That's the beauty of football technology today. You can go exactly where and pinpoint what happened in that game, where it actually changed at. You can see everything how it broke down. But at the same time, if the players are not buying into it, as we see what's going down at Auburn, that's another discussion. If the players are not buying into it, they're not going to buy into it. You can't force players to do nothing anymore. Nothing. Them days over with. Gone. Peace. Toodaloo. Holler at you later. But to get the kids to buy into you now, it has to be something impactful. And we're talking about all these dual threat quarterbacks. And college football has seen this coming. It's taken over across the nation. Why has nobody, all these defensive-minded people out here, want to recruit anybody on defense with the same type of speed as a linebacker? What that's that? Where's that? Where that beast at?
I don't know.
Where's that? They're converting these guys to play offense. Well, why don't you get on over here? I'll move you to quarterback, a tight end, a receiver. No. A majority of these quarterbacks that are dual threats, look at their primary position in high school. Linebacker, safety, corner, punt return. Never played quarterback. They learning all this in spring practice. That's why they get them there early. That 17-year-old sensation down at Bama.
Yep.
Should have been a quarterback. But they moved him to receiver.
Yep. I mean, he's effective, though.
Yeah. I mean, they see the transition. I mean, they do. That's what they do. If they can see a guy, hey, I can use them attributes on his defensive side. I can use him at quarterback. I can use him as a linebacker. Hey, he's big enough to put on that line. I put 10, 15 pounds on him. Shit, I got a 5-star right here.
Yep.
But you got to sell that. You got to better sell the guys that bought into it, buy into it. Back to the nature at hand. They got to get that locker room back at halftime. Carolina. They got the players. They got the program. They have the identity, but the identity crisis is happening at halftime. It's like when you're in a divorce and you have kids and you get them kids back Sunday, you got to deprogram their ass. But it usually don't click back in a Tuesday after school because they've been with their mama or daddy over the weekend. Now they come home with that bullshit. That's what's going on at halftime. They got to deprogram it and get back to the originality.
Yeah, I don't know what they do at halftime. I don't know if Matt Brown gets fuzzed at them or something like that or do anything.
They want a Whataburger.
Or is Matt Brown worried about dancing? I don't know. I don't know what they do.
White men dancing. We need more of it.
You know, like I said, I want to be in the locker room when they go into halftime and see what they actually do at halftime because they don't make no adjustment. They don't make anything, and they can't make no adjustment on the fly. Once Carolina gets behind, their defense is just like, okay, here we go again. You know, it's like the bad news Bears.
I go off on a damn team. Don't have me give a halftime. See, put the phone down, Jerome. Turn that damn music off.
All right. So then the hand here. Who you got winning this ball game today?
I'm going with Georgia Tech, man. I don't like Carolina's defense, man. I need them to prove to me you know who your real daddy is. That's what I want.
I'm still sticking with the hope of Carolina turning it around. I got Carolina winning this ball game. We're going to go ahead and take a break here on the All Sports All Place College Breakdown on the All Sports All Place Network. I'm Ray. That's Dre. We'll be right back after these messages.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we're making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so type the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. 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 365, we're making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so type the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. 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 365, we're making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so type the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. 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 365, we're making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so type the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
Welcome back to the All Sports All Plays College Breakdown on the All Sports All Plays Network. You can catch us on all our social media: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. We got it all going on here. Dre will be right back after this few minutes here. So let's continue on before he comes back. Here we're gonna have a rapid fire coming up here until we get to number 1, Texas at number 18. Oklahoma will be the next game that we're talking about here. So let's bring in Kumo D, the DJ, the man, the myth, the legend of All Sports All Plays College Breakdown. Dre is back with his sunglasses on, getting all blue on us, man.
Period, man. Hey,
you look like the blue Smurf.
Last year I dyed my beard and my sideburns blue.
Are you gonna do that for the Georgia Florida game?
No. It didn't go well.
It'd be kind of cool if you do your hair and your beard. Do one side orange and blue on one side down there, and then turn it around and do it the opposite side. That would look good on you.
If I was not about to turn 54 years old, I would. If I was in my 30s, I'd do it a whole half face. But watching all these fans that are over 35 dress up for sports, I can't do it. I'm good.
All right, let's do a little bit of rapid fire here. Wisconsin at Rutgers. Who you got?
Wisconsin.
Taking the Wisconsin. I'm gonna take Rutgers on this one. Ball State at Kent State. Who you got?
Ball State.
Taking Ball State in this one also. Toledo at Buffalo. Who you have?
Toledo.
Taking Toledo. I'm gonna take Buffalo. This one. UAB at Army. Who you got?
Army.
I'm taking Army in this one. Miami, Ohio at Eastern Michigan. Who you got?
Eastern Michigan.
Taking Eastern Michigan on that one. I'm gonna take Miami, Ohio on this one. All right, my friend. Let's talk about this game coming up here. Number 1, Texas at number 18, Oklahoma. Time at 3:30 p.m. from the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas. First time they play as They are in the SEC now. Nothing has changed. They kept this rivalry going, which is I like to see. How do you look at this ball game today? Number one, Texas back at number one after missing out last week at number one, which I thought they should have stayed at number one, but I don't know how they flipping these things around. But college poll has been tremendously weird
Who's
this
number
year.
one now?
Texas.
Okay.
They're back at number one. It's supposed to be the time that Brock Ure is back and Manning goes to the bench. How will you see the Texas offense under yours if coming back? Usually when they have effective, they've been playing effectively, the quarterback's missed. But in this system, I don't think the quarterback will be missed. I think he comes back in, does his thing. How does Oklahoma can stop Texas offense today?
All right. This here going to be one of those matchup here, boys and girls. This going to be the matchup here. We make fun of West Virginia and kissing cousins and all that. Hey, Oklahoma and Texas ain't too far off, brother. But when it comes to competitive nature, if that first drive, that first series doesn't go right for Brock, Mr. Manning, stay loose, buddy. That dude is a motivator. And if they need that, if it turns into booze early, we need you. Stay loose. Stay loose. Oklahoma on the other half, I don't know who's going to show up first, the defense or the offense. When the offense shows up early and the defense shows up late, it's a high-scoring love affair, and they put the game in the hands of the zebra. I do not want this game going in the hands of the zebras. I want this game to be decided by the teams that are playing, Texas and Oklahoma. So I need the defense and the offense to show up together. OU. You understand me? OU. On the other hand, if they can take that energy away from Texas early in the game, it's going to be a blowout. A blowout. But if they allow that first drive to go well for Oklahoma, give them that early sense of confidence, believability, that's calling Texas going to try to control the game right there. I know it's a long game, but I think the first drive in that game that Texas has the ball is going to dictate a lot. The opening possession, offensive possession, the first one that Texas gets is going to dictate how Texas is going to play that game. I think they're going to
look at this
aerial assault first. I don't think they're going to. I don't think the first play of the game is going to be a run. Boring. Texas is going to come out and try to play into the emotions of the crowd, to play into the emotions of being in what, kids? The SEC, what is known as the best conference in college football. Prove me wrong. That's what I think they're going to try to do. What you think?
Now, if you look at this, the Longhorns are 5-0, 1-0 in the SEC. Sooners are 4-1, 1-1. Meet Saturday under their new conference banner. It will be the first time in 40 years that Texas will play in the rivalry as the nation's number one team. In 40 years for Texas, the Longhorns.
I was there the last time.
So, we're looking at this. Steve Sarkisian, his fourth year at Texas. Best team he has in his 4 years there. Does he get the job done? How does he keep the momentum going for Texas when they changing quarterbacks supposedly today, because you're supposed to be back today? If he's not, then they got Manning starting in his first Sooner Texas, the Red Rebel shootout here and at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, Texas. So you know the half stadium is going to be Sooners, other half is going to be Texas. You know it's a neutral site game, but the effective in this ball game, we know Sooners had Texas's number in recent years. In this ball game, Texas won a couple here and there. Does Texas now put it on to Oklahoma and try to get their revenge back from all the times they lost to Oklahoma in this Red Rebel shootout?
You know, Texas football fans have been let down for so many years. I mean, you can't go back to that Vince Young team, which was incredible. That incredible, just phenomenal team. And when you have an experience like that, it's hard to get over it. You want it back so bad. It's like that one that got away we all thought about in high school that we wouldn't ruin, and we let it get away. But sometimes it's reminiscent of that. And Texas is starting to feel that. But every time we get to this point, but it's usually later on this month or early in November where Texas has that big old-fashioned Southern hiccup. Steve has been in this position before, best team ever. But he gets that pivotal point of the season. This is it right here for Texas. But I don't want them to get so down on themselves. You're number one midway in October. The college football playoff format has changed. There's 12 teams allowed in now. So if you do lose this game, you're still in the hunt. If you do win this game, this changes the whole perception of who's getting laid this weekend. That's a Texas fan. They win this game. That's so much at stake for this team. Look, we've heard about Texas from endowment, money spent, recruitment, coaches. We've heard about all this. I'm tired of hearing about Texas. It's time for them to put this thing together. It's an open field right now to win a national championship. Darth Vader's gone. He's out the building. I don't mean to call Coach Saban that, but the GOAT is gone. It's an open field now. There's no fear out here right now. If you want to run the table, Texas, do it right now. Put your foot on the gas and go. You're in the SEC. Your schedule is playing right into the hands of the levels of competition. To boom, you're there. This may be your only hiccup that could probably threaten a perfect run. But I wouldn't, if my quarterback is not 100%, put Manning in. If he's 100%, let that boy play. You got a stud behind him. We know Arch can run, throw, catch, and dance. He has rhythm. He has moxie. But Texas has to play an entire game, just like Oklahoma, an entire game. We know it's not going to happen, but we got to say it anyway. We got to play a no turnover style game. Yeah, right. We know turnover is going to be galore. But if they can keep this game respectable, under 50 points for Oklahoma, Texas can win this game. That's a tall task, though.
Yeah, but not going to be so much a tall task because Oklahoma will be starting a true freshman quarterback against the Longhorns for the first time. Michael Hawkins Jr. has won his first start at Sooners' last game 2 weeks ago when they rallied in the fourth quarter at Auburn for that first SEC road win. Now he starts the biggest rivalry game in his hometown of Dallas, Texas.
Hey, man, when you say true freshman nowadays and he's starting, I'm watching the game now because that's telling you there's something in that youngster. Telling me what high school he came from. What was his average attendance in high school? Probably 80,000. These kids coming in college right now, like this all y'all got here? Hell, in high school, we had 72,000 at homecoming.
He's 6'1", 204 pounds from Dallas, Texas. He threw for one touchdown last week, 310 yards. His QBR is 62.7. He was 13 out of 22.
QBR 62. That means he threw a lot of passes.
Well, he's at home. He's completed 13 out of 22 on versus AP top 25. He's 11 of 18. He's 21-3 in conference play. His stats is he's 23 out of 37 attempts, 62.2%, 310 yards, 8.4 yards, one touchdown. And then his RTG rating is 141.5. So,
okay. Well, high
and the
school
loss against, it doesn't say. It just says Dallas, Texas. So let me see here.
Unaccredited schools, probably.
Hold on 1 second.
private football camp. But I hope this game lives up to the hype. I really do. I really do. One day, 1 year. Now, probably about 7 years ago, I thought I almost had the opportunity to go to this game. Almost had the opportunity. But I think the Cardinals won the playoffs. There was something. Yeah.
He went to Emerson High School in Dallas, Texas. He was ranked in the top 61 nationally for one stat, 19 in Texas for another stat, and then he's top 7 in the region. So,
okay,
in the nation, he's 4,211 out of quarterbacks.
4,211 as a quarterback. He's got a big desk on his ass potato, baby. This is gonna be a good game.
This is gonna be a good game because his last three, he was 2-4. He came in and played sparingly against Temple. He was 2 for 4, 17 yards, and he came in the Tennessee game. He was 11 out of 18, 132 yards, 61.1 his QBR rate, that's percentage completion. He threw that one touchdown in that game, but he had no touchdown in the Auburn game. So he's been sacked 4 times.
Okay,
but he hasn't had too much of a start. This will be his actual first start. So
yeah, I want to see.
That's what we're looking.
I want to see
the Venables, man.
Them true freshmen, though, man. Right, that phrase scares me. When they say that, when they announce it, he's a true freshman. What? Not in the game. I had to see this. There's a reason this boy in the game.
So if you look at the Texas Longhorns, their running back Jaden Blue has lost 2 fumbles in the Texas win over Mississippi State last week. How does he carry around? Did they make him carry around football and try to have the offensive lineman take it out of his hands? And how did they cure the fumble? Obviously, there.
They should. You drop this ball, somebody's going to tell me. If they do, you're going to regret that. You better hold on that dang ball. You understand me?
So this is gonna be a key here. We know that Texas freshman edge rusher Colin Simmons, he moves around a lot. So now the Oklahoma tackles Michael Ducon and Jake Taylor have to protect their freshman quarterback from him. How did they get that job done today? Do they chip him? Do they double team him? How do they take? They got to take Collins out of this game. Simmons out of this game. If they don't, he's going to be in that backfield all day long, and he's going to make havoc, and it's going to disrupt Venables' offensive strategy in this ball game.
I don't know what game I was watching, but they were talking about the technique that's being used to stop these guys that get in the backfield. Real simple. Motion. You keep a man in motion, it throws off the timing of that player that's always trying to get in the backfield. And I'm saying to myself, no way possible. In film, don't lie. And they were just breaking down the film left and right. You see how they chipping this guy? You see how the motion is confusing them? You see how the motion is confusing. And they were right, dead on target. I was like, wow. The things that they show you in film that you can see. I hate when both – I have 2 TVs that use the same remote, and I'm trying to stop them from talking. I'm sorry. But if they do that, I think it can be a better control situation for them. But I would put
I look at this. I look at this too. That I found an interesting tidbit here. The Longhorn has never lost to Oklahoma when topping the AP poll. This is the 5th time going into the game in that spot. So when they're ranked number 1, they have never lost to Oklahoma.
Okay.
So this is going to be an interesting thing. This is back since 1984. So
84.
In that range, in 1984, when Texas was number 1 in 1984. This game was played in a rain-drenched game ending in a 15-15 tie.
I know what I did.
So when you look at this game,
I don't think there's any bad weather going on today anywhere.
No.
I think we got lucky this week.
It's 92 degrees and going to be in Dallas, Texas. It's all sun.
Yeah, so I think we got real lucky this weekend when it comes to the actual.
Dude. The over and under is 49 points. The over and under is 49.5, and Texas is favored by 17 points.
Damn.
So
I'm
who
going
you got
with
in this
Texas.
ball game? I'm going with the Longhorns too. All right, my friend. We're gonna go from Dallas, Texas, all the way up to Southern California, where number 4 Penn State versus USC, Lincoln Riley. What is going on with USC?
You can't spell suck without USC. I don't know. I don't know why they can't recruit. No, how can I put this? The recruits they have, they did some amazing things in high school, prep schools, or prior schools or universities. Then they get to USC, and I don't see what the hype is. Am I missing something, right?
I think too much hype on Lincoln Riley when all his houses and everything else. When they brought him in, they praised him. I think he's a good offensive coordinator, but not a good head coach to me. I think that's just the problem with him. I think he's just over his head right now. He moved to
If it's not
USC to
his
give him a
way,
lot of
it's no other way. He's that type of guy.
correct. They went out and got a defensive coordinator. Thought the defense was going to be a little bit stronger than where last year, but they're not doing it. But now you got number 4 Penn State, who's now made it up number 4. Penn State is 5-0, 2-0 in conference play. USC is 3-2, 1-2 in conference play. This game is at 3:30. Penn State is favored by 3.5, but the matchup predicted doesn't show that they're favored by 3.5. They're only giving Penn State 48.3 chance to go into USC and win. To give them USC 51.7% chance of winning this ball game. But if you look at it here, Moss has been doing great for USC as quarterback, but he has thrown 4 interceptions, only to 9 touchdowns. But then you look at Ellert for Penn State, he's been doing phenomenal. He's not turned the ball over but one time. He has 9 touchdowns and 1,101 yards and 73 out of 103 yards passed. But if you look at the running game, it's pretty much an even dead heat there. And also with the wide receiving core, it's a dead heat there with Warren and Lane. So really, both teams' defenses has come to play today. Penn State's defense has been playing very well here in the last 5 weeks of college football game going, 7 weeks of college football game going. Look at this score. Look at these things. They played West Virginia in August, 34-12. They played Bowling Green State, 34-27. That was the closest game. Kent State, 56 now. They beat Illinois 21-7, and they just beat UCLA 27-11. So their defense has only given up 27 points, and that was to a team in the second week. Now they've only given up 18 points in the last 3 weeks. So Penn State's defense is now shutting down teams. But we know Lincoln Riley's high power offense. How does Penn State defense shut down USC high power offense and keep this a low scoring ball game?
It sounds like to me you said that Penn State is trying to remember that their linebacker that defense is trying to give reminiscent times, not of the 80s. We don't go that far. Not of the 80s Penn State, not those Nittany Lions, but a little bit of okay, it's starting to come along. Starting to come around. Some things that's about to happen. USC on the other side, I've seen more games of Penn State this year than USC. I'm going to watch this game. I haven't seen USC play at all. I've only seen highlights. And the highlights I've seen is back to what we said at the beginning of this discussion. If it's not Lincoln Riley's way, you're wrong. That's the way he coaches. The body language he's putting off over there on the sideline. I want to see the hype of Lincoln Riley be shown. Show me why you have all these houses. Show me why you're getting all this money. I want to see it. I'm tired of the hype. Come on, man. Come on. Don't be Tommy on Martin. Where do you work at? Show me a paycheck stub. Come on, Lincoln. Show me what you got.
So now if we look at Penn State, this is the thing that right here for Penn State. If Penn State can get past USC, they have a favorable schedule rest of the way. They could make it all the way into the college football playoff game. This is the game that they're probably circled on the calendar. But I think they still got to play Ohio State and Michigan and all that still. But
The Ohio State. Sorry, guys.
But I ain't doing the Ohio State. This is Ohio State. They don't have no throw in front of them. You tell me they got a throw in front of them, then you put it on their marquee. Then I'll call them the Ohio State. That's the most dumbest thing I have ever seen. We are the Ohio State. How are you the Ohio State when the college is named Ohio State University? Where is the the? The mascot is a Buckeye. There's no the in there. It's like no I in win. Or no I in team.
Oh, my God. Oh, man. I struck a nerve. Carolina, if y'all don't win today.
I mean, how do you call yourself the Ohio State?
I just watched the movie where a guy said that to his wife. He just loses it. He goes off.
That's just bad as this generation today. They're putting all this other stuff in. Now you're gonna put the Ohio State in there. Where is the the? Show me the, and then we can call you the Ohio State. But anyway, moving right along.
Oh, man.
I had to get you laughing today.
Oh, man.
But under Lynn, the first-year defensive coordinator, Lynn's played 4 seasons as a defensive back for Joe Paterno at Penn State, making 4 interceptions. That's what Lynn, familiarity with Penn State, comes in under Paterno when he played there. But Lynn said, I've got a chance to see them play in person since I played there, so it's been cool. But 2 of my older teammates are on the staff, so it would be cool to see them before and after the game. So he's already talking about seeing his favorite former players and stuff like that and former friends. Penn State running back Nick Singleton was active and physical in the portion of the practice opening to reporters Wednesday. He appears likely to return from whatever element kept him from playing a week ago. So they got that running back coming back. So what do we see out of Penn State's offense against USC's defense? Supposed to be better than they were last year.
Well, USC defense showed me. I watched more games last year, and they hadn't lose that many players in that defense. I don't see that much of a transition. They can't hold the lead, and the defense haven't shown me anything better, especially late in the games. They just give up. You think Carolina give up the second half? USC defense, they just lay down. I need to see more of a defensive side from USC, but I haven't seen a defense from USC since the late 80s, early 90s. They've been more of an offensive threat than anything. The offense usually overshadows the defense. You forget about it. So I don't see USC defense being a factor today at all.
Now, this is the interesting thing here. Penn State had to drive about 100 miles south of State College to Harrisburg for a flight to Los Angeles on Thursday to get a plane big enough to accommodate all the program needs, since such a plane couldn't take off from University Park Airport. Franklin came out and said, this is a quote from him, "I think we have discussed increasing the size of the runway here and the size of the airport for a lot of reasons," Coach Franklin said, "but you're talking about adding another 2 hours to your trip on top of the flight. I think the flight is already 5.5 hours or whatever. That's pretty much a full day." So will Penn State come here jet lag because they had to take all these transportation to get their football program to the other coast?
In my day, my coach said, "I don't care about excuses. You better make deal with it. Make deal with it, coach. Make deal with it." You knew the travel situation months ago. You just said, well, we're trying here to accommodate the airstrip a little better. We've been telling them for years it needs to be strong or longer. Okay. And we need bigger planes. Okay. Get somebody on that. But for now, don't use that unless he's one of those coaches where we're going to use this as a push. I'm going to keep my guys up. No, you're not, because they need energy. Good try, Coach. Good try. Good try. James Franklin, a.k.a. Keenan Peele.
Yeah, we're looking at this too. And then Franklin came out with a quote also. He said, "I think we're doing a good job of getting the balls in that playmaker's hand. I still think there's some guys, especially at wide receiver position that we have to continue to get the ball in their hands to develop that aspect of our offense. So they're still trying to develop the wide receiving core, not up to the par where they need to be. But you're looking at 7 weeks into college football and you're still trying to build up your wide receiver core. So now you just put that, you're trying to build them out. Does USC put 8 men in the box to stop the running game?
I don't. Well, they have the speed though. That's one thing they do have. They have speed at linebacker and back down on the backside. But up front, I don't think they have the penetration to get through them big boys. Because let's not forget, Penn State got what, ladies? Some biggins, some meat eaters. They got some furniture movers right up there. They got Jethro and Biggin right there.
Hey, you know how to get big, right? They go to them Amish country and get them good food. They cook up there.
Meat and potatoes. That's it. It's all taters and meat, Mom. That's it. How many boys?
But if you look at this too, USC fans is still rallying from. It's smart after blowing a fourth quarter lead and an embarrassing road loss to Minnesota last week. So the fans are not taking that road trip to Minnesota any lightly.
Everybody had something to do with their fans last week. Get over it. Get in line, Penn State.
So, as we're moving right along, who are you taking in this ball game?
I'm going to take the Nittany Lions in an upset. That's not an upset. Give me the Nittany Lions.
I'm taking the Nittany Lions also in this ball game here. So. All right, let's talk about this game here coming up. Stanford at number 11, Notre Dame. The time is at 3:30 p.m. on NBC from Notre Dame Stadium in Notre Dame, Indiana. What do you see out of Notre Dame so far? South Bend.
Well, every time I've talked anything negative, a question or chastise or challenge Notre Dame, they come out and beat the hell out of people. When I give them an opportunity, I'm let down. They're playing what I call boring football. They look like they're lost on the sideline. The communication factor is bad. The body language is off. It's like some people on Wi-Fi, some on dial-up, some on a pager and trying to get into plays in. So they need to figure that out. I think they had too many plays and delay of game in a game that I thought was very sloppily played earlier this year. But overall, I like this Notre Dame football program. I like the Fighting Irish. I like them. They're a team you can root and cheer for with the volume down or the volume up. But I don't want to get too comfortable with them because they will get out here and play a type of a quarter where they'll give up 21 to 24 points. You're wondering what the hell happened. I don't see that game today out of them, but I don't want them to forget it, that it can't happen. That's what I think of Notre Dame football this year.
Well, I look at this ball game here is you got to look at some stuff here. You got Leonard Riley Leonard to come out of Duke University. He's 82 out of 126 for 750 yards and 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. But he also leads the team in rushing for 59 carries for 374 yards and 7 touchdowns. So, I mean, then I got a running back who's leading their team. They got a quarterback to lead them in rushing. But he also got a wide receiver in Collins who's only got 17 receptions, 181 yards, and 1 touchdown. That shows me they're running the ball more effectively than they are passing the football at Notre Dame. But if you look at it, if you turn the tables around at Stanford, you got Daniels, who's a 68 out of 150 out of 15. They're not doing much better. He's only 633 yards and 5 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. He has more turnovers than touchdowns in ball games. I mean, he's also leading the team in rushing with 250 yards. So you got 2 teams whose leading rusher is the quarterback in the quarterback position. And then you got Emwar, who's 24 receptions, 317 yards, and 3 touchdowns. A little bit better receiving core than what Notre Dame has. But in this ballgame, the matchup predictor has got Notre Dame favored 92.2% chance to 3.8 for Stanford. Does Stanford have a chance going into South Bend and winning this ballgame today?
It's like Stanford and Georgia Tech switch brains. What happened to the football program at Stanford? What happened? It's like they don't want to play football no more. Give me Georgia Tech. I mean, give me Notre Dame.
taking the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. I'm taking the Notre
I
Dame
don't know
Fighting
what's
Irish
going on
too.
with Stanford. They just don't want to play. The cheerleaders, you came hear them, they offbeat. I don't know what's going on with that program.
All right, my friend, let's go real quick here to California at number 22, Pittsburgh in this ball game. What do you see from the?
Go ahead.
So Cal against Miami. I got a couple things I need to ask you about that game. The first one is the quarterback that got hit with the guy leading the crown of the helmet. You see him dipped his head. You see the crown of the helmet go into him. They didn't call it targeting for the Miami Hurricanes, and that really changed that point of that game because it should have been targeting because the crown of the helmet sure did hit him. And what the rule says, the crown of the helmet hits a player in the head, it's targeting. It's a forcible contact, and you can see him doing it. You can see him dipping his head and leading into him. They went to instant replay. The instant replay overturned it. What is your thought about that? Did the instant replay get it right, or is this the second week that instant replay has helped Miami win ball games?
This was the Cal player hitting Ward in the head, right?
No, this is the linebacker from Miami hitting their quarterback in the fourth quarter.
And they said it wasn't targeting?
It wasn't targeting. He dipped his head. If you look at the replay.
Because it was from the side.
Yeah.
I think it was from the side. They were saying it wasn't directly on, but it was from the side. I think that's the play you're talking about.
Yeah, but still, he led with his head. If you watch the replay, he dipped his head, crown of the helmet hit him in the head with forcible contact, and they didn't call it. They overturned it. They didn't call it. They came down with a buzzer for the replay that took it, and they said it wasn't targeting.
I'm thinking because I'm thinking I know this play because this happened a couple weeks ago. Or was this last week?
It was a defensive player hit him with the crown of the helmet.
This was last week, though, right?
This is the Miami and California game.
Yeah.
That I watched all the way up to 3:00 in the morning.
Oh, yes. That was the play from the side. He lowered his head, but from the side. That's what they were talking about. After the game, they were talking about one of the college football shows. It was from the side. It was not targeting. It should have been called a blow to the head or what's the other call they call when you hit a quarterback in the helmet? When you make contact with a player's helmet, but it's not targeting. Targeting is when you lead with the helmet.
The defender. I'm gonna tell you, the defender led with his helmet.
I'm talking about why they called it that. It was from the side. Let me see if I can bring that play up.
Because if you watch the replay, he had his head up, he lowered his head, he went into him and dive bombed him. Even though it was from the side, he hit him with the crown of the helmet. The defender player hit it with his crown of the helmet on him with forcible contact. That is the rule. That is the rule of targeting college football. It was forcible contact, led him with the crown of the helmet. It doesn't matter if you're hitting forward or side. The defender hit him with his crown of the helmet.
Hit Miami and Cal game. I'm looking at it now. Now they don't show the slow motion. Yeah, he did lead with his helmet, and he hit him on the side. Hit him on his shoulder. He never hit him in the helmet.
Yeah,
he led with his helmet, but he never hit him in his helmet. He hit him in his shoulder pad, high up on the shoulder pad.
No, that helmet hit him in the head. His crown of the helmet hit him in the head.
Right here. Hit him on the side. He left his feet. You're right. He led with his helmet, but he hit that shoulder pad. He hit the shoulder pad. The guy his head got jerked because the guy behind him and the other guy hit him. Take a look at it.
Hold on a second. Let me go bring it up.
He hit his shoulder. Shoulder. Never hit the helmet. Nobody hit his helmet. Matter of fact, boom, to the side. Shoulder pad.
Oh,
yeah, buddy. I remember that now. So that was the same thing. I was like, oh man, they hit that boy in his head. Then the replay, because he kind of winched up. When he winched up, his shoulder pad went up as he was leaning. Pow.
Let me put this thing on mute. Let me share my screen real quick here. We'll put it on here. We'll take a poll from everybody in our audience today.
I mean, so let me the call. What they decide don't matter.
Let me see if I can put it on my screen here right quick here. Share screen. Targeting here. Share. We're gonna make it full screen. And then we're gonna play it. Are you ready? Bam! Right there, the helmet.
No.
Right in the helmet.
Now,
watch his head. Watch his head.
Watch him. Watch his head. He's gonna reach up his shoulders. He gonna squeeze up. He's squeezing up. Oh, he gonna hit me. Oh, shoulder pad.
He hit him right in the head too.
Shoulder pad.
Watch right here. Watch right. Hold on. Let me see if I can get back here. Watch it right here. Watch his head. Watch his head. Watch the dude's head.
He's benching up right here.
Bam! Hit him right in the head. Hit him in the head too. His shoulder hits his shoulder. His helmet hit his head.
Helmet. Not one player hit his helmet.
Right there.
Nope.
That is helmet right there.
Not one person.
Watch. That's his helmet. Watch his head. Hit his head.
Watch.
Boom.
Yep.
Right in his helmet. Right there.
High shoulder.
He hit a helmet. Yeah, that crown hit the helmet. Hit his head. Hit his helmet, dude.
I'm with the official.
I'm trying to tell you.
Right.
Nah, they got it wrong. Here you go. Definition of targeting from the NCAA rules.
Definition is, but that wasn't targeting.
That was targeting. Intended to reduce the risk of injury preventing from players.
From 15 yards.
It was a forcible contact. It doesn't matter. It was forcible contact intended to injure the player. That's the targeting rule.
No. He went in after a guy like this. If he'd have left both of his feet and lunged, yes. But he didn't leave both his feet and lunge. He leaned over and popped it.
Dude, that's targeting, man.
Raised his shoulder pad up, and his head went.
He hit him, and he led with the crown of the helmet and hit him in the head with his helmet. I guarantee you, you can tell me all you want to. His shoulder pad hit his shoulder pad, but his helmet hit his head.
No. I just showed there are 3 people, not one person hit that boy in the head. His head was jerking, and it never went back because it got hit right here high. The same thing happened in the NFL 2 weeks ago. The guy got hit right here on the shoulder.
Yeah, but the NFL don't have targeting.
He did this, but he never hit his helmet.
But NFL don't have targeting. The NFL's got personal fouls.
Yeah, they do.
They don't have targeting. They call it personal foul.
No feet in football. In football, Ray, you cannot leave your feet and intentionally
it don't matter.
dive with your head and hit somebody.
I'm still thinking my point of view. That was targeting.
You can't hit an elevated receiver across the middle. That's targeting.
That's 2 weeks Miami got help from the replay official to keep them in contention.
The catch in the end zone against Vitek. Show me where he had control of the ball. And I'll be on your side. He never had control of the ball.
Show me when he had no control of the football because they didn't show
where he had control.
Hey, show me when they didn't have control.
Show me where he had control.
Where's the undisputable evidence? They had no undisputable evidence.
The video. The ball kept moving. The ball never. So you mean you got a completed catch, but the ball can still move?
Not enough evidence to overrule the turn. Play should have stayed as called.
Conspiracy theory that you really think college football want Miami to go undefeated, to go in the national championship.
Hey.
You really think the NCAA wants the University of Miami to win by the officials' help? That'd be the worst mistake in college football.
Nah. Questionable calls, man. Got questionable calls, dude.
There's no way the NCAA is in cahoots with Miami to do anything positive.
Hey,
that was not a catch and Vitek. That was not targeting. That was an
was
unfortunate
targeting.
situation where a little bitty guy
was
raised his
targeting.
hands up. Show me.
That was targeting.
Show me the
I just told you
concussion.
replay after
Show me the
replay
X-ray
in front of
where
behind.
he has contusion on his head from a helmet. Then I believe you. Show me the X-ray that they gave him that shows me there's a bruise or a contusion on his skull. I bet there's none.
Oh, so okay. Just for your little instance, every target that they have called, show me where the player has a bruise on their head. For every target that they have called.
All targeting is not in the head. What Alabama did to the quarterback at Wisconsin, they targeted that boy's knee. He's out for the year. Probably when they never play college football again.
Yeah, I know that.
Dirty play targeting. 2 weeks ago in who was that?
Forcible contact.
The dude jumped over another player to lead with his head to hurt somebody. Targeting.
Dude, you seen it in the replay. The dude dropped his freaking head.
Not targeting, Ray.
Oh, I forgot.
That is not targeting.
I forgot you. When you lower your head and go in there head first, it's not forcible contact.
That
was forcible contact, dude.
That's targeting. That was no intent to harm there.
I was targeting, dude. Forcible contact.
Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
I don't know. The chicken could come first. Just like men came first. Adam and Eve.
No way
female was born from a guy.
They take too long. They have bad cameras. They need to use the one that Major League Baseball uses on their slow-mo to get everybody right, to get everything wrong. They missed a total since college football season started. I think they said over 50 targeting calls. They've missed.
Oh, no.
Didn't call, missed.
Not they missed the one in count, too.
But didn't call it at all. That Alabama play in Wisconsin, I feel so sorry for that quarterback. That fat fuck left his body and hit that boy in his knee on purpose. Quarterback gone for the year. Probably will never play football or walk again.
All right, so Holverson used to be Eli Holverson from Pittsburgh, used to be on Alabama. He transferred out. He's 8th nationally in yards per game. He has dictated the quarterback position for Pittsburgh. What is the deal for that loss against Miami? Now you got to focus yourself. You got to come focus yourself now against Pittsburgh. You got to come all the way to Pitt, all the way over to Pittsburgh, and used to be called Heinz Field. They play at the Pittsburgh Steelers Stadium. Now you got to travel from West Coast to East Coast after suffering a loss to Miami. How does Cal bounce back today, and how does Pittsburgh try to keep Cal evenly, Matt?
I mean, Cal impressed me with the way they played that Miami game. I didn't expect that out of Cal, the way they played that game. A quarterback had heart. I don't know his health situation going into this game. But as we've been telling people this for the past 3 or 4 years, these running quarterbacks trying to go up these big-ass linemen, you're not going to win. Go out of bounds or learn how to slide. I like the receivers at Cal. I like their run game. I like their play calling. I did not expect that out of Cal, the way they played that game against Miami. What can they learn from that game? They had opportunity to win that game. You got to finish teams when you have chance to finish teams. Instead of going for that safety field goal sometimes, go ahead and take that chance, that end zone. I know we always preaching to put points on the board if you have the opportunity to put points on the board, but damn it, go for the money shot sometimes, especially early in the game. I'm not talking late in the game, but early in the game, of course.
So when you look at this game, who you going for? Who you got to win this ball game tonight?
I got Cal to rebound.
I'm taking Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh showed me something against North Carolina. I think Pittsburgh is a probably better team than what people expected. All right, let's do some rapid fire here. Let's go with Purdue at number 23, Illinois. Who you got?
Illinois.
I'm taking Illinois at home. Brett Bielema's doing a pretty good job at Illinois. Louisville goes to Virginia. Who you got?
Louisville.
Louisville on the bounce back game. I got Louisville on the bounce back game. Cincinnati at UCF. Who you got?
Give me UCF.
You taking UCF? I'm gonna take Cincinnati in this ball game.
Matter of fact, where they playing that game at? It's
At
UCF is
UCF.
in Orlando, right?
Yeah, they're playing at UCF.
They in playable conditions down there in Orlando?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I got UCF there.
San Jose State at Colorado State. Who you got?
San Jose State.
I'm gonna take Colorado State on this one. Old Dominion at Georgia State. Who you got?
Give me Georgia State.
They're not playing it. They're not playing off Hampton Road. They're playing it. They're playing it. Used to be Turner Field. So in Georgia, Akron at Western Michigan. Who you got?
Who they playing?
Akron at Western Michigan.
Give me Western Michigan.
Taking Western Michigan in this game. Also, Northern Illinois at Bowling Green. Who you got?
Northern Illinois.
I'm taking Northern Illinois in this one. Memphis at South Florida. Who you have?
Give me Memphis.
Taking Memphis also in this one. Arizona at number 14 BYU.
Bring them in young. Bring them young.
Yeah, Brigham Young's got this one. I don't know. I might pull the upset here. I think Arizona is a better team than what people think. Ohio at Central Michigan. Who you got?
Central Michigan.
Taking Central Michigan. I'm taking Ohio. This one. All right, Mississippi State at Georgia. Who you got?
Give me UGA.
I'm taking UGA in this one also. Southern Miss at University of Louisiana Monroe.
University of Louisiana Monroe. Fuck Brett Favre. Fake injury illness.
All right, my friend. Let's talk about your game coming up. Let's talk about your Gators at number 8, Tennessee, at 7 p.m. at ESPN from Lenian Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee. Florida's had Tennessee numbers. Tennessee had a little bit of chance. What do you see this ball game today? How do you see it? Do you see it's going to be a close game, or do you see Tennessee could take Napier's heart out in this ball game?
I'm not going to lie, man. At the beginning of the season, the first 2 games of the season, Tennessee looked good. They looked fast. They looked like they were having fun. Looked like they were all best friends playing football together in front of all their family members. That's what that team looked like. When I see collegiate, any sports team doing that, I'm like, wow, they're going to be fun to watch. But something happened. Tennessee looks different now. Tennessee looks beatable. Florida is clicking now. Not for as Tebow clicking, but clicking in a way they're trying to find their own identity. Hey, we have nothing to do with the Aaron Rodgers movie, Hernandez movie. We had nothing to do with the documentary about the team when Tebow was here. This is us now, and I like that. Napier, on the other hand, I'm not on speaking terms with him right now. We're not speaking. I'm speaking to the AI version of him. I like our chances better today than 4 weeks ago. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm seeing the hiccups. I'm seeing the delays. I'm seeing the miscues. I'm seeing the errors and the flaws in Tennessee's football program that I didn't see earlier in the year. I don't know if it's something going within the house or if it's was that just a fluke based on the schedule? Did somebody get lame against them on defense and they saw something and they exposed it, and that's what we got caught up in? Because I haven't seen them be really challenged, and being a conference game and the way we do and do not like each other, it's going to go down. And when Knoxville, it's going to be nice.
I can look at that loss two ways for Tennessee. I think Arkansas is better on defense than most teams that Tennessee has played so far this year.
Oh, dummy.
I think Arkansas offense is a little bit maniac because of low scoring, but the defense kept them in the game. In that ball, and that there they played them at Arkansas. So I think it's one or two things could have gone in that game a little bit differently. Yes, but I think that Tennessee played down to the level of their competition in that ball game. I think Tennessee is going to be different today. I think Heupel's got their attention now. I think this Arkansas loss was a good loss for them due to the point that now they can refocus. Now they got Florida coming in. They're going to be focused on this ball game because Florida has come into Neyland Stadium and have beaten them a bunch of the times. So now the home crowd is going to be there. It's going to be loud. It's going to be 102,000 people there. You're not on talking terms with Napier. Is Napier still on the hot seat for the Gators?
That seat's so hot he can't sit down on it. He's standing up on it. He's not sitting down. No. I don't like the way he talks to the media. He's not motivational. He's not believable in anything. He just doesn't look good in our colors. And I don't know what he's doing offensively. It's like he's playing the game boggles out there. He's just hitting that bubble and it pops up and those little dice tell you what to do. He's playing a game of chance with my offense. He's playing a game of chance with my team. He's playing a game of chance with my heart and dedication to my Florida football Gators. And that's unfair to me, Ray. That's unfair. I'm not saying I need the best coach. I want a coach. Is that so hard to do? How hard is it to find a coach? How hard is that? A coach. Somebody that looks forward to coming to work, doing their job. It's so hard to find people like that. They're far and near, Ray. They're far and near.
When I told you what 3 weeks ago about this, when Steve Spurrier came out and talked on Firebomb show, when Steve Spurrier talking about you, your days are numbered at Florida. I don't care who you are. If he don't like you, he comes out and talks bad about you. Your days are numbered. I think his day is still numbered. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about your Florida team. It's bounced back the last 2 weeks. I know they played UCF. They played them strong, 23-14. But their defense is not like Arkansas's defense. It's not better than Arkansas's defense. They got a lot of holes. I think Tennessee will exploit some of the holes they have in there. I think the linebackers get undisciplined. I think the Gators defense is a really undisciplined defense because if Tennessee gets the running game going, they're going to bite on those play action passes. And what happens on play action passes? They put a wide receiver right behind where the linebacker is supposed to be. And next thing you know, that play's gone 10 to 15, 20 yards. If Gators got to play this game, they cannot let Tennessee go up and down the field. They got to make them drive the ball. Can't have no quick plays. Can't have no deep bombs. They can't have the quarterback being comfortable. They got to get to the quarterback's head. That's what Arkansas did last week. That's what Tennessee needs to do today. But they don't have no pass rushing. They have nothing up front. Tennessee's offensive line could possibly. Do we see a blitz package coming in for the Gators today to try to generate some sacks on the quarterback, get him uncomfortable?
Well, first of all, our defense needs to be disciplined. We have too many, what I like to call dumbass penalties on defense, i.e. too much of the business, which leads to personal fouls. We have too much non-football things are happening that are putting us in trouble with the handkerchief on the field. We've had a couple of players do the pium situation. We got to control our emotions. I'm tired of the announcers saying, these young kids, they come in here so high and emotional, No, you got to control that in the locker room, coaches. Hakeem, sit your ass down. I don't care if your parents are here or not. Charles, control yourself. Charlie, you all right over here? You know who your high-risk, high-emotional players are. Everybody knows who those guys are. Go talk to them now. Team captains, go talk to them now. If we have a 10-plus penalty day and we're 6+ of them being personal fouls, we're doing nothing but shooting ourselves in the foot. We can't win football games like that. When you're taking away 130 to 145 yards and penalties, how are we supposed to score and compete and win? Please enlighten me. Huh? How can I make eggs with no eggs? That's what they want me to do. It's impossible. You're putting us in a unwinnable situation when the defense gets too high risk, high strung, thinking they're in their neighborhood, thinking they're still in high school, and forgetting that they're part of a team in college, D1 football for the Florida Football Gators. It's being lost out here. Discipline. No accountability. Once the defense gets to the discipline point and accountability, coaches, you too, we can go back doing some great fun things on defense. A pick six, a scoop and score, 3 sacks on a drive. We can get back to that type of defense. But until then, we got this superficial bullshit. 17 penalties a game. How you gonna win a game like that?
I look at it. I look at this too. Tennessee's running back Dylan Sampson has rushed for 12 touchdowns, second in the FBS, 598 yards, second in the SEC, 14th in the FBS this season. When Sampson is running well, so does Tennessee's offense. The Gators struggled again, getting lined up against Mississippi State, which ran an up-tempo attack similar to Tennessee. Will that happen again today?
No, because you see the adjustments that we made against Mississippi State. We had an actual in-game adjustment, but the communication and conversation between the players and the coaches. You had players communicating sideways to a huddle, looking to the sidelines. Are you sure, coach? You had the head nod, the confirm it, let's get this done. Then I saw the results. We have that potential. But everybody has to be in on it, on this discipline style defense. It's easy to preach, but hard to do.
Yeah, this is another tidbit too. This is the 8th time Tennessee fans have checkered Neyland Stadium. The Vols have won 2 straight such games. This is the first of 4 straight games at home for Tennessee over 5 weeks. This is the latest Tennessee has played in its SEC home opener since October 13, 1990. So.
Well, scheduling conflict. Country fair every damn week. Pick and pull at NASCAR night.
It's gonna be 70 degrees up in Tennessee. It's got Tennessee is favored by 14.5. The over and under is 56.5. So who are you taking in this ball game?
We're going under that. I
just
want
taking
White Castles, Florida.
I'm taking Tennessee.
Gators.
I'm taking Tennessee. There will be no this in Florida land today. This will be shut tight. It'll be like this. No, we ain't gonna have this. It'll be closed. It's gonna be like this. It's gonna be like this with the
Jack Daniels. I love it.
Hey, it's gonna be closed like this with a sign going around. Eat Napier. That's the only thing they're gonna be doing. Gonna be eating Napier.
I got one of the TVs on the SEC network. I don't see that up there yet.
It's coming. They ain't played the game yet. By halftime, we'll be there.
No, but the SEC network game day show. I got that on there. They go all over the place.
Yeah. All right. Let's go do a rapid fire. Always get to Oregon here. Game against number 2, Ohio State. Let's talk about who you got, Air Force or New Mexico?
Give me Air Force.
I'm taking Air Force too. And this Washington State at Fresno State.
Washington State.
Washington State also. Arkansas State at Texas State.
Arkansas State.
I'm taking Arkansas State. I'm taking Texas State. North Texas at Florida Atlantic. Who you got?
Florida Atlantic.
We'll take North Texas.
Oh, Steve Young there.
UTSA at Rice. Who you got?
University of Texas, San Antonio. Give me UTSA.
I'm taking them also. All right, my friend, let's talk about the game that people are most anticipating at Ogden Stadium in Eugene, Oregon.
Eugene.
Number 2, Ohio State comes in at number 3, Oregon. Times at 7:30 on his game will be on NBC/Peacock from Ogden Stadium in Eugene, Oregon. Last time these two teams played, Oregon went into Columbus and beat Ohio State. Does Ohio State return the favor today? How do you see this game being played out?
We know what Phil Knight has emphasized to the whole Oregon sports program, especially the football program. Win now. Win now. Win now. He's given this football program everything they have wanted and things they don't even need. Now they got to do their part. But both of these squads are different than that last team. That was C.J. Stroud. That was the quarterback for Ohio State then. I think a majority of the players on the defensive side of Oregon are gone. But Oregon's offense, I like the way it's looking. They are so fast. Or is it the uniforms that make them look fast? Is it a figment of my imagination? Or is Oregon that fast? And what I'm looking for from the Ohio State, show me that money you spent. I don't see it. I don't see what everybody else sees when it comes to the hype of the Ohio State and them spending $20 million to get this type of team. Am I missing something, Ray? Am I looking at the wrong product? I don't see what everybody else sees when it comes to this team. I don't see it.
Yeah, so I mean, like ESPN matchup predictors not giving Oregon but 36% chance of winning at Ogden Stadium to 64% to Ohio State. And if you look at it, Gabriel has played as great as Howard has played for quarterback position for Oregon and Ohio State. Howard is 93 out of 130 yards, 1,248 yards, 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Gabriel, on the other hand, is 130 out of 167 for 1,449 yards and 11 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. But what it gets me is James has rushed more yards than Junkins has, who transferred out of Ole Miss to come up to Ohio State to play, who has 60 carries for 468 yards and 5 touchdowns. To James, 88 carries, 552 yards and 5 touchdowns. But look at the receiving corps. Smith has got the advantage of Ohio State, who's got 23 receptions, 453 yards, 6 touchdowns. To Johnson's 43 receptions, 395 yards and 5 touchdowns. So you're looking at a team that are similar in every which way: quarterback, running back, and wide receiving core. But the defensive side of the ball is what we need to talk about a little bit here. Oregon's defense has been playing tough. You know, they had some games that were close. They had some games that have not been close so far. If you look at the last 5 games for Oregon, they only allow Boise State with the most points at 34 points. But they've been giving up 14, 14, 13, and 10. After that, 34 points by Boise State. So Boise State carried them to the wire 37-34. But Oregon State, they beat 49-14. They beat UCLA 34-3. They just beat Michigan State 31-10. But look on the other hand, man, Ohio State's defense has been stellar. They only allowed 14 points at the most in the last 5 games. And they beat Arkansas.
Up 2 sacks, right? Has Ohio State only given up 2 sacks this year?
Yeah.
That's wild.
So, but Oregon's defense has been playing pretty good the last 3 weeks. So it's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a fast pace up and down the field for Oregon. That could do a little bit of things for Ohio State playing an up tempo team like Oregon, but Oregon can slow it down. They can play fast. They play slow sometimes. It all depends on how Landon wants to do it, how the offensive coordinator wants to do it. They're not as fast as they used to be, but they play with tempo when they get picking up first downs. Teams will play that up tempo a little bit. Then they'll slow it down if they get a bigger lead. So depends on how this does. I see this is going to be a much closer game than what people are predicting.
Yeah, the line yesterday was 3.
It's still 3.
And now it's 3.5.
I'll see.
Huh?
No, it went back to 3.
Went back to 3? Because right before we came on, it was at 3.5. Like literally.
ESPN's got them at 3. So some other books could have them at 3.5, but ESPN's got them at 3. And let me see if I can bring up the over and under in this game here.
I'm trying to think if I've watched
All right. So ESPN's got them at 3.5 now. When I was looking at the first page I went to the actual thing. They got them 3.5. Ohio State leads the series 9-1 over Oregon. Gabriel, the transfer from Oklahoma, who has thrown for what I already told you, leads the nation in completion percentage. So he passed the ball a high percentage. So that Ohio State defense has got to be on there. So Howard has 4 rushing scores, are most by the Buckeyes quarterback in 5 years. That's saying a lot because you had Justin Fields and Stroud there. That key factor. So the weather is going to be 77 degrees, partly cloudy. So not too much of a weather forecast there on that thing. But Dan Lanning, his coaching career has been, with his wife supported. So this is going to be why family always comes first for Oregon, Dan Lanning. So that's going to be a little bit of issue. His family's always come first. But to me, I think a little bit of this irony here is, how does Ohio State can slow some of this Oregon stuff down? Because Oregon can pass the ball, run the ball. I mean, they spread it all over the field. They do that. They do side to side. Can Ohio State's defense run side to side? That's going to be the question.
But see, on the same sense, you are saying that what is Ohio State's defense going to do against Oregon's offense? Ohio State has the ability to score very fast. Like I'm talking 1 or 2 plays, and I've seen them do it this season. Either on a run, either on a pass. And don't get me started on their special teams. They're dangerous on kick returns just as much as punt returns. So they can hit you from all over. And when their defense gets hungry, especially with the linebackers and the safeties and corners, it gets a real interesting day and a long day for the opposing quarterbacks. So Iowa State has that type of personality, a type of game plan. I can see them going way beyond the 3.5 points. On the other side, if Oregon figures out a way, hey, we can keep up with them. We beat these guys before. We can come out on top of this game.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a lot of things going on in this ball game that we got to really. So that's a lot of things that we got to look at here too. Gabriel is a guy. He's a guy with experience. He played UCL, played Oklahoma. Now he's playing for Oregon. They're trying to do what they did with Bo Nix. Yeah, this is what they're trying to. They're trying to do this with what they did with Bo Nix and Dylan Gabriel. Not too much success what they had with Nix with Gabriel right now, but Gabriel has not turned the ball over that much in the last 3 weeks like he did the first couple weeks.
He makes good throws. He's not trying to make the receiver make a play. He's putting the ball where he's throwing to the spot.
Yeah.
He's throwing to the spot. Which I like that is the new thing in college football. Throw to your spot.
A little bit of facts about this is the Buckeyes has won the national championship after the 2014 season by beating Oregon 40-20 in the first college football playoff title game. Oregon and Ohio State are both among 6 teams in the top 25 for both rushing and passing defense. A win would make the Ducks 6-0 for the first time since 2013. Ohio State has scored all 21 times it has reached the red zone, 20 touchdowns and a field goal. The first meeting between Ohio State and Oregon was the 1958 Rose Bowl, a 10-7 Ohio State win, capped Woody Hayes' first national championship. That's your facts and fiction. Who you got today, man?
Facts right there. O-H-I-O. Stay.
I'm taking the Ducks. I'm going quack quack.
Quack, quack. Give me Howard the Duck.
All right, let's do it here. Let's can take this one off. All right, Ole Miss get back on the winning track today against number 13 LSU at 7:30 on ABC, ESPN Plus from Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. This game is going to be a high-flying game here. You got the fake accent and Brian Kelly. If he brings it tonight, I don't know if he's going to bring it, but anyway, he's a faker. He's not even from the South. He's from Massachusetts area. So let's look at it here. Lane Kiffin. Everybody wants Lane Kiffin to be the next Florida head coach.
Not me. Go ahead.
Not you.
No.
You don't want it. I mean, they say he's changed from his.
People don't change that fast, Ray.
Hey, he's an upgrade coach than what you got right now.
People don't change that fast. No.
The over and under in this game is 64.5, and the Rebels are favored by 3.5. They give 66.8% for Ole Miss to win, 33.2% chance for LSU at home. LSU plays great at home. How do you look at this ball game today? The last 5 games, they lost to USC the first game, but they beaten Nicholls, South Carolina, UCLA, and USA. University of South Alabama. So
you talking about Ole Miss?
That's LSU. Ole Miss lost to Kentucky, and they beat South Carolina last week.
Did LSU already play us?
What?
Florida.
They already played us. No, right. Not yet.
Didn't they beat Florida?
Who? UCLA?
LSU. What game are we on?
We're on LSU and Ole Miss.
Right. And I thought, didn't LSU already play Florida?
No, they played USC is the first game they played. They played Nicholls, South Carolina, UCLA, and University of South Alabama. You haven't played them yet.
Huh. It's something I saw about LSU that made me mad. Oh, the game they came back and won. When they were down.
Florida doesn't play them until November 16th.
Yeah. LSU played a game a couple weeks ago. They were down. Should have lost the game. But they came back and won the game. Brian Kelly was being questioned at halftime. I think they were down. Was that against Mississippi State?
South Carolina.
South Carolina.
That was South Carolina.
Yes.
33.
That's what – yeah, buddy. Yeah. Ever since that game, it wasn't a John Greasy look from Man on Fire type smirk. But I didn't like that smirk that Brian Kelly had on his face after they won the game the way they won that game. Like he was throwing jabs at somebody. I took it personal, Ray. I took it personal. I don't know if he meant that for me as a Florida fan, but I don't like his behavior and body language after that game. I want to see LSU get challenged again, like they got challenged by South Carolina. Does Ole Miss have that in them? And if Mr. Kiffin is trying to get the eyes of the people on him the right way, boosters of the Florida football Gators, I need to see something different from Ole Miss. You're not your daddy. Be your own man.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at this, Dart for Ole Miss is 127 out of 173 for 2,100 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions, which is a great ratio. And Nutsmesser for LSU, who is 138 out of 198 for 1,652 yards, 15 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. I mean, still good in touchdown and interception ratio for both team quarterbacks. But Parrish, who is a transfer out of Miami from the U, has 91 carries, 570 yards, and 9 touchdowns. And Durham for LSU has 29 carries, 244 yards, and 3 touchdowns. But what gets it is you got to watch for Ole Miss Harris, who has 82 receptions for 885 yards and 5 touchdowns, to Anderson, who leads LSU with 27 receptions, 371 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So my friend, it's time. Who you got?
I'm going to go with Ole Miss, man.
Going Ole Miss? I'm
We'll
going
go
with
with Ole Miss.
LSU
The
at home.
Ole Miss, the old man. I'm going to go with
I'm going with
Oxford,
the faker.
Mississippi.
I'm going with the faker.
You going, Mr. Kelly?
Yep. I'm going with the faker. All right, my friend. Oregon State at Nevada. Who you got?
Oregon State.
I'm gonna take Nevada. Nevada plays good at home. Appalachian State at Louisiana. Who you got?
Give me App State.
Take App State in that one. Vanderbilt at Kentucky.
Give me Kentucky. Vandy, you're not getting that damn lucky. Even though
I'm
I
gonna
like
take
the story
Vandy.
quarterback.
I'm gonna take Vandy for the story of it. Number 11, Iowa State goes into West Virginia to play the Kissing Cousins team.
Give me Iowa State. West Virginia and let me down a couple of times this year.
I'll take Iowa State in this. Let's talk about this game here, my friend. Syracuse at North Carolina State. Time at 8 o'clock p.m. on ACC Network from Carter Finley Stadium and Raleigh, North Carolina. Syracuse has been on a tear. They came back and beat UNLV.
That was a hell of a game.
NC State is now worried about their starting quarterback, McCall. And this guy, I don't know if he's playing. Let me see if I can get the report if he's actually playing. Because he went to the hospital. They released him that night. So it's going to be 67 degrees in North Carolina at Carter Finley Stadium. And I see here who's going to get the start today. Trying to find out if the injury report's out. Oh, right. North Carolina defense front court.
Do you watch the Big Ten's college game day show? You ever watched it? With Matt Leinart?
Nah. North Carolina State is trying to turn around an 0-2 start in the league play that has included a shaky defense uphill at a quarterback with starter Garrison McCall being sidelined by a concussion. Syracuse quarterback Kyle McCord, who came from Ohio State. North Carolina defensive front McCord is second in the bowl subdivision ranking in passing with 362.8 per game. Passing touchdown 17. Ohio State transfer faces Wolfpack's defense that had been a strength for multiple seasons, but has struggled badly and lost. North Carolina State ranks 119th in the FBS and scoring defense with 33.7 after giving up 51 to Tennessee and 59 to Clemson before giving up 34 in a last week home loss to Wake Forest. The Wolfpack ranks in the middle of the chunk of national rankings by averaging 1.83 sacks per game. So that should tell the tape right there for your key matchup in this ball game. How does NC State balance out McCord? McCord has been on the tear. NC State's defense has not got the heart of Peyton Willis, who's in the NFL now. That defense has been struggling without their leader in the middle, which I kind of figured would be. It's a little bit opposite with North Carolina State and North Carolina. North Carolina State leader was the middle linebacker last year. The heart and soul of the team. He is gone. He took the heart and soul of the team, just like Drake May was the heart and soul of the team in North Carolina. He took that heart away. So now, how does North Carolina State get that beaten back on the defense and to turn this 0-2 ship of the ACC, which they were highly intended to compete for the ACC title this year?
Well, Syracuse, the defense is questionable. I question the play calling offensively. They seem to have the talent in the right spot, but I don't think they're using it the right way. On the other side of things, NC State, they always have early season hope, but then October is their hiccup month. So I think right now they're probably challenging themselves more than anything. I want to see the run game, though, be a little bit more better while they're at home anyway, NC State. I know that passing game is cool to everybody play, but when you can balance it out and you can really open up the running game, it puts the defense on their toes and it gives extra room for that play action.
Yeah, and NC State and Syracuse got to watch out because freshman C.J. Bailey, who is a dual threat quarterback, can pass and run the football for the Wolfpack, is starting today over McCall, who was knocked out from last week's game on a jar hit. Bailey threw for a season high 272 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Demon Deacons, but this is the Wolfpack's first 0-2 start since 2015 in the ACC. So that's what we're looking at here. So who you got to win this ball game, my friend?
Give me the Qs.
Taking Syracuse in this game also. Marshall at Georgia Southern.
We are Marshall.
Taking Marshall. I'm going to take Marshall too. Minnesota at UCLA.
Give me Minnesota. I don't trust UCLA.
Take Minnesota too. Minnesota's been playing good. Number 18, Kansas State at Colorado. Who you got?
Colorado. Let's go.
Going with Colorado. I'm going to go with K-State in this one. Number 17, Boise State at Hawaii is the last game of the Saturday's.
Give me Hawaii. 808. Shaka, bro.
Take the 808 too in this one. All right, week 8. We got matchup here on Tuesday, October 15, 2024. Troy at South Alabama. Who you got?
Give me Troy.
Take South Alabama on that one. Kennesaw State at Middle Tennessee. Who you got?
Middle Tennessee.
Take Middle Tennessee also. Louisiana Tech at New Mexico State. Who you got?
New Mexico State.
New Mexico State also in this one. All right, matchup on Wednesday. Western Kentucky at Sam Houston. Who you got?
Give me Sam Houston.
Taking Sam Houston in that one. Florida International at UTEP. Who you got?
UTEP.
I'll take Florida International in that one. All right, this match is on Thursday. Georgia State at Marshall. Who you got?
We are Marshall.
Taking Marshall in that one. Boston College at Virginia Tech.
Ooh, that's going to be a good one. Let the Sandman sing it. Give me Vatek.
Taking Vatek. I'm gonna take Boston College in that one. All right, this game is on Friday. Florida State at Duke. Who you got?
Sound like a good basketball matchup, even soccer. Hell, but give me Duke.
I'm gonna take Duke in that one too. Number 3, Oregon at Purdue. Who you got?
Oregon.
Taking Oregon in that one also. Oklahoma State at number 14, BYU. Who you got?
Oklahoma State.
Take BYU. All right, Fresno State at Nevada. Who you got?
Nevada.
I'm gonna take Nevada too. They're playing at home. So that's all our picks right there. You got all our pick'ems all the way up through the start of week 8. Next week will be week 8. We'll be bringing up that list there. We'll be picking those games and we'll pick out some games there. So I will probably send you a list or something this week. Have you pick some of the games you want to talk about. So
okay,
I'll make that and I'll send you the spreadsheet. So you
word.
You can get some of your inputs into that thing.
Gotcha.
So, but what do you think about this week's college rankings?
I haven't taken a look at it. I really haven't. I had some issues going on with my in-home studio that I'm relieving the pain. I'm not going to do it in studio anymore. So, in my home, getting rid of it. So I haven't taken a look at the top 20.
Are you getting rid of your home? You say you're getting rid of your home
studio. I'm going to rent a studio. Yeah, I'm going to rent a studio. Yeah, I just want to talk. I'm tired of doing the stuff. I'm tired. I've been doing it for 10 years from home. It's time for me to go let the people who know how to do the stuff from the production side do their thing.
So you're gonna be doing this show from your studio too?
No, I do this show from home.
Oh, okay.
It's the only show I'll be doing from home. Yeah, I'm not going to start back up until November 4th.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right now the rankings they got. Let me see if I can get to the edit so I can see the whole list. They got number 1 Texas Longhorn, who had 52 of the votes. Ohio State, which had 9. Oregon came in number 3. Number 4 Penn State. Number 5, Georgia. Number 6, Miami. Number 7, Alabama. Number 8, Tennessee. Number 9, Ole Miss. Number 10, Clemson rounds out the top 10.
Damn.
Ohio, Iowa State, number 11. Notre Dame tied with them at number 11. Number 13 was LSU. Number 14 was BYU. 15 was Texas A&M. Number 16 was Utah Utes, which is probably going to drop even more now since they lost. Boise State Broncos at number 17. Number 18 was Indiana, tied with Oklahoma Sooners, tied with Kansas State Wildcats at number 18. Yeah, 3 teams tied at number 18. Number 21, Missouri Tigers. Number 22, Pitts. Number 23 was Illinois Alumni. Number 24 was Michigan Wolverines. Number 25, SMU. And then the other ones receiving the thing was USC with 98, Nebraska with 51, Navy with 43, Army with 33, Vanderbilt with 26, Arkansas with 17. And that came out with Iowa. And the teams that dropped out was USC at number 11, Louisville at number 22, and UNLV at number 25.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's that. So, my friend, what are your games you're going to watch today?
I'm going to watch the 11 o'clock game, which I believe is
Alabama, number 7, South Carolina.
I'm going to watch Texas game, the Cal game, Florida, Ole Miss, Oregon, and there's another one I want to watch. I usually try to watch 6 games. That's what I do. Try to at least to actually pay attention to. And I put the other TVs on with no volume, but I have the volume on the game that I want to pay attention to. Yeah. And then if I see something crazy out of those 4 games that you get in the box, I go straight to my laptop and go to that game. And it's weird. I feel like Vincent D'Onofrio from Law and Order: Criminal Intent. The way I write, the way my eyes bounce all over the damn place.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I put my like my North Carolina Tar Heel game will be the volume. I'll put all 3 computer screens to a different game, and then I got an iPad. I'll put on to a different game. Then
how many TVs
sometimes
do you
I
have?
use I only have 1 TV in my studio, and I have 1, 2, 3 computer screens, and then I have my iPad. I got a Hulu TV, so I can put them all on different things. But when I get my actual house and I put my actual studio in there, I will have about 20 TVs on all the walls.
You have 20 TVs?
I will. Not now, but I will.
Are you building a in-home studio?
Yeah, I'm gonna have an office be a studio.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
but
yeah,
if I get a big enough yard,
I can't.
Yeah, if I get a big enough yard, I'm gonna take one of those, those sheds you can buy and make them look fancy. Then my father-in-law said he'll come and help me, but make it soundproof, and then build my studio like that way too. So I got 2 options I'm looking at.
Yeah, I don't live in a house anymore. I live in an apartment, so I deal with the most fucked up noises known to man. So I just had enough. I got frustrated. I love everything about where I live at, except working from home. It used to be fun, but the noise is just, oh my God,
apartment noise.
I can't. No, man, it's construction.
Construction.
These motherfuckers. I got so mad this week. But it's nothing I can do about it. It's out of my hands. It wasn't like somebody doing it on purpose. Like a little kid kicking a can while I'm doing it. It's nothing like that. It's people actually working. So I was like, how about this? How about I find a studio that I can afford? But, due to the popularity of podcasting, it's turned into a hustle. it's really opportunity and people looking for places to do their podcast from. But nobody is coming to your studio to record a damn album or a CD. They're talking for 1 to 2 hours. That's it. There's no need you should be charging $300 for somebody to come in there in your studio and just talk. Man, please. I don't get it. Man, it's crazy what some people charge. It's like you're trying to help them escape the debts of divorce and child support.
Yeah.
And I'm not here for that. No. I was in the actual radio industry. I know the price. I was actually booking for bands. I know how studio fees go. So knowing the numbers, not making sense. And then the podcasting tools that used to be available for everybody, how the fees have been just the pricing now is through the roof. Yeah, like you could basically podcast back in the day for free and look like a professional. Not anymore. No.
StreamYard. If you don't watch it now, if you don't tell them, they'll put you on the team thing. It costs about $298 a month.
It is wild, man. It is.
And then if you don't, you gotta fortunately tell them that you only want the $88 plan on the business side.
Right. And it is just.
But yeah, I just spent $795 on the new Mackie DLZ creator mixer. Mm-hmm. And then I just spent $345 on a new mic, Shure B7B.
Jesus. Yeah, I'm telling you, that's what I had to tell myself, man. I had a long talk with myself yesterday. I was like, look, if we're going to do this, it's time to let the professionals help, Dre. We can't do what needs to be done. So now, if I knew how to do the technical stuff, I would build an incredible studio here at home. But I can't deal with the outside noise. It is driving me insane. So I found a studio that I could get to walking or public transportation or Uber or Lyft. Yeah. And I could get my daily exercise, do some marketing, meet some new people. So it's going to work out for me.
Yeah, I'm in a loft right now. I'm in a townhouse. I'm in a loft. I have no wall. I have 2 walls, but my kids walk in front of me. I have no door, no nothing. So I had to use a mixer to cut out my background noise and stuff like that. So.
Oh, okay. See, if I could
eventually,
if I lived on that side of my apartment, but I live on the street side. Oh my God. I said, how long you guys gonna be working over here? Then he pretends he couldn't speak English. That pissed me off even more. So I just said, okay, forget it. I know what I'm gonna do. You know how people say they're gonna leave? They're gonna leave. I'm gonna leave your ass. I'm left. I just said, you know what? I'm done working from home. That's it. I'm gonna take all this down. I'm not selling nothing. I'm gonna take all this down. Just leave this side of the studio up. I'm gonna take that podcast studio down and actually buy me a dinner table. I took where your dinner table should go and put my L shape over there. And I put my audio podcast is over there in my work area.
Oh.
So, and this is just the live stream area. But I was going to change all this with green screen and all this, but I'm going to go to a place that does all that for you.
All right, that's a green screen right there.
Yeah. See, I'm going to get something. I'm going to have it looking real nice. But, I'm not going to start back up to November 4th. I'm looking forward to it. I'm ready. Because I almost lost my shit. And I don't want to mess up where I live at because I like it there. I live in walking distance to a bar. I'm by all the parks, VA hospital. My sister.
Hey, that's my green screen right there.
Oh, okay. Cool. Sweet.
The wall behind me is a green screen.
You painted it green? You got your...
No, I got carpet. I got the Muslim green.
Oh, okay.
Heat up. It goes from here. It covers the window all the way around the back, so the sunlight won't come in here.
All right, that's what's up. Yeah, Yeah, that's what I was going to do on that side over there. I was going to change the whole landscape over there, but no, it's too much of a headache.
Yeah, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 9 lights to generate this back screen, the green screen.
Okay. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he converted a house into a main room, 2 small rooms. He has a total of, I think, 5 studios in his house.
Oh,
but the way he breaks it down, you got a time frame, and the majority of people here in this region, they sleep late. So all they do, they shows, live stream shows in the evening.
Oh, okay.
So me doing my show in the afternoon is perfect.
Yeah.
That's it. So I just got it 3 days a week, 12 to 1.
Oh, okay. They got all the cameras and all that too.
You got everything. You just bring the voice and your content. That's what I want.
Okay.
There
you go.
That's it.
All right, man. So college football is about to start. So I'm glad that everybody joined us today. I'm Ray. That is Dre. This is the All Sports All Plays College Breakdown, the All Sports All Plays Network. We'll see you next Saturday. Same bat time, same bat channel. Go Tar Heels.
Good luck to everyone. Go Gators.
There you go. That's what I was waiting for. All right, man. You have a good one.
All right, you too, man.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.